This is CW Sports.
Good afternoon from Daytona Beach, Florida, and the world center of racing. There is a buzz in the air as NASCAR fans anticipate the opening of another season. And we begin on the biggest stage, Daytona, where its high banks, high speed, and high drama always create an unpredictable outcome. Every driver dreams of winning at this place. Only one will take home the trophy today. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Adam Alexander. We start things on the beach. You know, some of NASCAR's best competed on this sand in the 40s and 50s. But our focus today is 5 miles west, Daytona International Speedway, an iconic sports venue that's hosted the season opener since all the way back in 1982. When you look at 2025, the storylines, they are plentiful. You've got the youth versus experience, drivers changing new teams, and a brand new television home, CW. And we're going to be here wire to wire, starting today at Daytona and taking you all the way through the championship race in Phoenix. I can't wait to call the races with Jamie McMurray and Parker Kligerman. Let's get this fantastic campaign underway.
There are places in life you return to year after year, serving as a reminder that no matter what changes, certainty still exists.
And down the long beach straightaway, loose sand in the turn makes rough going. Dreams are proven in performance at Daytona Beach.
In racing, there is nothing more certain than Daytona. For decades, the best in the world have journeyed to this hallowed ground to stake their claim on greatness.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins his third consecutive here at Daytona International Speedway.
Daytona belongs to Darrell Waldron. He's done it.
Earnhardt has won it, his 7th overall. Heck, win Victor Lane again.
Gonna be all Tony Stewart. Woo, what a finish.
Tony Stewart wins again.
Before the claim, one must survive. And like the sea, this speedway can be angry.
Cars are spinning.
A horrific crash for Kyle Busch.
It offers disappointment, rage,
There's a fight.
and when it all goes right,
Chase Elliott.
jubilation.
Dramatic finish at Daytona.
But as the tides change, so do the players.
Georgia drivers got the hat trick at the World Center of Racing.
Now, a set of new faces are poised to seize the moment.
Connor Zilic is leading everybody by a country mile.
Hungry,
Jesse Love, nobody's going to give him a run.
Fearless.
Nick Sanchez.
And ready to make waves.
William Sawallich.
This is the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Justin Allgaier is the NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
There's no words like that one. This could be the greatest field the series has ever seen.
And it all starts today at the World Center of Racing.
Welcome into NASCAR Countdown Live on the CW at Daytona International Speedway. And take a look at this, where the stars of the Xfinity Series shine. We got the reigning Xfinity Series champ, Justin Allgaier, riding that momentum of last season right into the biggest race of the year. And no one has won more here in the last 14 years than this guy, Austin Hill, trying to make some more history here at Daytona International Speedway. And if you're talking about young, rare talent, well, then get to know Connor Zilic, who's getting ready to embark on a new journey full-time in the Xfinity Series with a lot of new faces. And take a look at this crowd getting ready for the CW, bringing you the Xfinity Series right now. This is NASCAR Countdown Live here on the CW here at Daytona International Speedway. I'm Carla Metz. I got Jamie McMurray. I got Parker Kligerman. And listen, the NASCAR season always full of highs and lows. Unfortunately, Parker, you know that all too well after last night's truck race.
And this crowd is on a high right now. Welcome to CW and NASCAR. This is so awesome. But you're going to hear us talk about how much Daytona means to everyone. This is the biggest race of the season, not just for the Cup Series, but for the Trucks and Xfinity Series. And I felt that last night. Biggest win of my life to get here and win in the Truck Series. This race pays more than double any other race. Unfortunately, in post-race tech, we had an issue. I do look forward to our appeal being heard on Tuesday. I think we have a very valid case. But nonetheless, I felt what it was like to win at Daytona. I believe we are the true winners, and we're going to see that today to start winning the Xfinity Series.
Hey, either way, I'm going to tell you something. We were all really proud of what you did last night. It was awesome to see you drive to the front, take the lead, and win here at Daytona. Pretty cool. Awesome job.
Yeah, that's disappointing, but guys, guess what's not disappointing? The fact that all 33 races are going to be on the CW network this season. You don't have to go searching for this series. You know exactly where it is every single weekend, and Jamie, you can't overstate how important that is for fans.
Oh, I think it's one of the most historic moves in the Xfinity Series history to have all 33 races on the exact same network, same place. You guys can find it every single week. We're excited to bring it to you. The teams are thrilled with what's going on right now, and mainly the fans also super pumped up today.
They're loving it. And, you know, the thing about the Xfinity Series is it's a 33-race schedule, one of the most diverse schedules in all of American motorsports. And one thing you hear from the drivers, these are the coolest and most fun cars to drive, the hardest to drive, and you get that enthusiasm, which creates great racing. We're going to get to enjoy it all 33 races on the CW, just like these guys behind us.
Absolutely, and we're not alone in our venture this season either. We got Dylan Welch and Kim Kuhn going to be manning the pits all season long. 33 races on deck. Dylan, are you ready?
Carla, I'm so excited to be here. There's so many talented men and women, both behind the wheel and in these garage stalls here in the Xfinity Series. And there's a real hard-nosed racer mentality that just permeates throughout this series. And part of our goal with this full season coverage is to tell you as many of those stories as we can and show all of you watching at home why all of us here at the CW are so excited about this season and this series specifically. Kim, it's finally time to go racing here on the CW. I can't wait.
That's right. Dylan and I are going to be reporting from pit road all season long. We're going to have everything covered on pit lane as well as in the garage. We're thrilled to bring you the stories, the strategies, the big personalities, the breaking news. Let's have a little fun. It is everything Xfinity on CW.
Yeah, appreciate it, Kim. And, of course, we're going to dive deeper into all those storylines right now. But, Parker, I need you to paint a broad picture of 2025. What are the expectations for the Xfinity Series?
What I love about the Xfinity Series is you have this broad mix of veterans who have made this their home, Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, and then a vast amount of rookies, young up-and-comers who want to get to the Cup Series and be the next Jamie McMurray, right? That's what you have here. You have that mix throughout the whole season, some trying to prove themselves, some who call this home and want to put on great shows for these fans. Let's go! Come on! Ah! That's the Xfinity Series 2025. Let's go.
And you're a Daytona 500 winner. You know what it takes to win here. So what are the expectations today for the drivers?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Parker experienced it last night. There's no bigger place to win in motorsports than in Daytona. I've been fortunate. I've won kart races here, won the Daytona 500. It's one of the best memories of my life. It was an amazing moment in 2010, actually beating Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the start-finish line. And they're just memories that you're never going to forget. And no matter who it is in the field today, if they can win tonight, it'll be the biggest win of their career.
Little Jamie, baby.
That's right.
I got it done.
That is my memory from there. That is exactly right. Darrell Waltrip gave me that line, and it's never went away.
I love it. That makes me emotional every time.
Yeah, you talk about worth the wait. A lot of guys have been waiting to win here. But how about Justin Allgaier? 14 full-time seasons, and he finally gets it done in November to start or to end the season in 2024, getting his first Xfinity Series champion. And yes, in case you're wondering, it does taste even sweeter after a wait like that.
The season finale takes place at Phoenix Raceway, where the championship fight is down to 4 drivers.
Justin Allgaier, 7 times he's come to the Final Four to look for a championship and has yet to accomplish that.
All right, gang, here we go. Here's your shot. Hang in there. Eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger.
I've said many times since Phoenix that looking back on the weekend now, the story is fantastic. The crash in practice, having to start at the rear of the field.
2 by 2, they come out of turn 4, and the championship race is underway from Phoenix.
All of the things that happened throughout the course of the race. And I look back on it and I go, I would have loved a lot less drama in the moment.
Justin Allgaier gets busted for a restart violation, and problems got worse for Allgaier. He got busted for speeding.
Something in my mind that plays over and over again of that never give up attitude.
Well, turn number 1, one car is up and into the outside wall.
The caution flag that Allgaier needed.
You know, my dad used to tell me when I was a kid that it wasn't over until the checker flag fell.
I got the best driver right here sitting behind the wheel. And you're going to make it happen for me, okay?
Green flag back in the air. Here comes the 7 to the inside. Allgaier's going to pass both of them.
That 1 and 2 was a career corner for the 7 of Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier is the NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
for me, the 2024 championship is truly just that never give up attitude, that putting yourself in the right position over and over again. Things work out and dreams do come true.
It was happy times for sure last November for Justin Allgaier, but it's a new season now. That said, you tried so hard to get that championship. Is having it finally done a weight that's off your shoulders that kind of allows you to race more freely now?
It really does, and I'm so blessed to be in the situation I'm in with such a great race team and everybody at Junior Motorsports. To get Rick Brand and everybody at Brand Professional Agriculture a championship was just, there's no words like it. And to see Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kelly Earnhardt Miller, everybody at our shop, their emotions, I mean, it's truly been an amazing experience. And top that all off with the 500 this week, and going back and forth and doing double duty, it's been pretty wild. But again, just really proud of the effort that's been put in. Starting up front is great. I don't know that we would have run that lap qualifying, but takes your mind off of a lot of things, and then just go out there and have some fun today. And Daytona, I mean, this place, there's nothing like it. I mean, we were just talking about the amount of people that are in the garage area, and just how crazy it is. It's really been special. So I'm looking forward to today. Hopefully we can take our Chevy to the front, and got a lot of teammates. It's going to be a great time.
Well, you are up front to start, but at a place where you're likely to kind of get jostled around and lose positions. What benefit is that at the start of this race?
Well, the benefit is actually for next week, because you get the #1 pit stop selection for next week. But I think anytime you can stay up front, we got a lot of youth. We got a lot of guys that are coming into this series this year. So you're not really sure. They're trying to get their feet wet with drafting and what that looks like. And so starting up in front of it, hopefully you're maybe in front of something if something does happen early. But everybody that gets the Xfinity Series nowadays is so prepared, and they're ready to go, and such talented race car drivers that are coming into this sport. So we're looking forward to it. Talent. We got CW on the Xfinity Series, and we're looking forward to seeing what these broadcasts are all about. I know our fans at home are pumped. The fans that are here are excited, and I'm probably the loosest and freest I've ever been going into a race, and there's a lot of fun in that.
That could be a dangerous Justin Allgaier. The champ starts on the pole today, looking for his second Daytona win.
Absolutely, Dylan. And listen, the one thing about Justin Allgaier, I think he is the only driver I've ever heard that says winning one championship is enough. But what could that possibly do for his career this season to take that pressure off, Jamie?
When you look at him, 471 starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He has 25 wins. He wins a championship last year. And the most interesting thing he said in the offseason was that he was content. He was content he has that championship. That takes a tremendous amount of pressure off of him heading into this year. And I think it makes him the favorite heading into the season.
There's no doubt about that, but the thing I think about Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity Series is the path to the championship here runs through him, and it's been that way for many years. I felt that way when I raced in the last 2 seasons. I knew if I wanted to make the championship 4, I was most likely going to have to beat or race against Justin Allgaier. They all know that. He is the benchmark of this series right now, and for all these rookies we're going to talk about, they're going to look at him as the guy that if I know I'm beating him, I may be ready for the next level. That means I'm at the front of this series, and he's in one of the best positions. What a great time to be Justin Allgaier. Wins the championships, makes the Daytona 500, racing his way in, is on the pole. It's just an awesome time.
It really is. It'll be exciting to see what he can do this season. But here's what we want to see from the fans right now. We want to know exactly where you watch these NASCAR races on the weekend. So post a photo of your fan cave on X along with hashtag CW NASCAR Challenge for your chance to win a $500 Fanatics gift card and have your fan cave shown on air at the end of the race. Go to the CW Sports profile at the CW Sports over on X for more information and a full entry detail. Well, coming up, there may not have been a sweeter moment in all of NASCAR's top 3 series than when Harrison Burton won the Cup race at Daytona in the fall. Will that experience help him with his new team today, though? Plus, that's not the only face in a new place. Welcome in the rookies. We've got interviews with Connor Zilisch and William Sawalich on the way. And, of course, you can't forget about the mainstays in the series. Austin Hill looking to add even more to his resume here in Daytona. We'll get to it all coming up when the CW returns. It doesn't get any bigger than Daytona to start the season, and it is no secret the Xfinity cars put on some of the best racing every single weekend. We know fans are excited to see those cars finally get out on the track, and listen, if the fans have been hanging around all weekend, here's what else they have gotten to experience. How about an electric car experience with ABB showcasing their electric vehicle prototype driven by none other than Ryan Turk, who's been able to whip it around. highlighting the car's performance. This is all a part of NASCAR's electric initiative that we've seen over the past couple of seasons.
I think it's really cool. I think you have to build something and experience the technology before you can really decide where and how you're going to implement things. So I think it's really cool that they're kind of staying at the forefront and figuring out like how that can potentially fit into motorsport.
Pretty cool stuff right there. How do we feel about electric cars racing?
Yeah, I like that. All-wheel drive, the way it burns the tires. Honestly, I think we should have put him in the ARCA race earlier today.
Yeah, he would have had a good
all
chance.
The donuts. Yeah,
all
that's right.
spinning out over there. You know, Ryan Turf's a great dude. I got to work with him a couple years ago, and he got to test that thing out. 1,300 horsepower capable out of those things.
Yeah.
It'd be insane to go around Daytona in one.
Yeah, fans certainly enjoying that experience. But here's something else that fans have to keep an eye on this season. It's the fact that the field is completely different than last season. And even if you are familiar with an Xfinity Series driver, chances are they're not with the same team that they were with last season. So before we get further into this discussion, let's take a look at those off-season moves.
A new season brings new faces to new places. Let's get to it.
Connor Zilic is going to win in his first start at the Glen.
Rookie of the Year contenders Connor Zilic and Carson Kvapil join Justin Allgaier and Sammy Smith at Junior Motorsports. Seven-time winner Sam Mayer makes the move with Sheldon Creed to the newly formed Haas Factory team. Brandon Jones moves back to Joe Gibbs Racing, joining Xfinity rookies Taylor Gray and William Sawalich.
Christian Eckes punches his first ticket to the championship.
Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye upgrade their rides, trading trucks for race cars, joining forces with Kaulig Racing as rookie contenders. Another series mover, Nick Sanchez, kicks off his rookie season with Big Machine Racing.
Harrison Burton wins in Daytona!
Four-time Xfinity winner Harrison Burton returns to the series with the AM Racing team. Ryan Ellis moves full-time from Alpha Prime to DGM Racing. Filling the Alpha Prime seat will be Parker Retzloff, looking to get his first series win. With Retzloff changing rides, Blaine Perkins will move to Jordan Anderson Racing. Fast Pasta Anthony Alfredo speeds on over to Young's Motorsports in the number 42. And the final two full-timers making moves are rookie Dean Thompson with Sam Hunt Racing and Garrett Smithley with SS Greenlight. A lot of changes and potential on the horizon for the 2025 season, which will create a year full of exciting and thrilling moments in the Xfinity Series.
Okay, guys, that's a lot to ruminate right there and really take in what stands out to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Haas Factory team. Both of those drivers moved on to Cup. They'll be racing tomorrow in the Daytona 500. And the guys that filled those voids, Sam Mayer, coming over from Junior Motorsports, he won 3 races last year. This is a great opportunity for him. And then Sheldon Creed has the most second-place finishes in NASCAR Xfinity Series history. He moves over as well. I think he gets his first win this year.
I appreciate the chant over here. They're saying I won last night. I agree with them. Thank you.
Bribes don't count, Parker. Bribes don't count.
We're going to win that appeal, them, just by saying sentiment alone. Two guys I have my eye on this year that really changed positions. One, first and foremost, my old team, Big Machine Racing with Nick Sanchez. Now I think this is a great pairing. Nick has shown a ton of potential in the Truck Series, winning there. I think this race team's in the best position it's ever been. You know, pat myself on the back a little bit. And that race car looks beautiful. I expect big things out of him here in 2025. And another driver kind of off the radar maybe, Anthony Alfredo, finished 15th in points last year in a very underfunded team. He now moves to Young Motorsports. He's probably going to do the same thing. He's going to over-excel that equipment. He's going to continue to outperform, and I really see big things out of Anthony Alfredo, especially these super speedways. He knows how to get it done at these races. I think these are big opportunities for him.
Yeah, you mentioned one of the rookies. Let's go ahead and take a look at this rookie class. It is completely stacked with 8 full-time drivers. This is the largest rookie class we have ever seen in the series. 2018, they had maybe 9, but again, not all of them were full-time like this season. So let's take a look at all 8 of these. And Parker, can you pick 2 that stand out to you?
You know, well, one I have my eye on right off the bat is Christian Eckes. I mean, for me, this is a guy who's coming in here with a ton of determination. I go back to what I saw last year out of him in the Truck Series when he almost forgo a chance at a championship to just win at Martinsville. I asked him about that earlier today, and he said, you know, earlier in my career, not winning got me fired. I know winning keeps me in rides and gives me opportunities opportunities. That's how much it means to me. He comes in with that determination in the Xfinity Series and that great ride in the 16 car. I think he will surprise a lot of people, and he could definitely be a Rookie of the Year and could potentially be a championship contender.
Wow. Yeah, Parker has left me with the two easiest names in the series to say, so I'm going to go with William Zawalich and Connor Zilic. When I look at William Zawalich, he has a ton of experience this weekend. Was able to run the truck race where he finished 9th, the ARCA race earlier today he finished 2nd, and he's been in a lot of different cars, a lot of late models. They are preparing him the way that you need to. Connor Zilic is in the same position. Everything this guy has gotten in, a lot of opportunity. He's been able to win over the past year. We know he stomped everybody at Watkins Glen last year, but I was more impressed with how he ran at the ovals. Not a tremendous amount of oval experience, and he was able to get top 5 in 2 of his 3 starts last year, so really good.
Yeah. Generational talent right there.
Yeah, a lot of people calling him a prodigy, comparing him to Cup Series driver like Kyle Larson, and we're going to continue to talk about him all season long, but let's talk to him right now. Kim Coon standing by with Connor.
Yeah, he thrilled us last year with those 4 starts, including a win, but Daytona is a completely different story. Your first start here, but you only did single car runs yesterday. So how did you prepare to race in the draft today?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different, but thankfully my WeatherTech Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity Mobile in those single car runs. I think we're going to have a really good car today. Junior Motorsports always brings fast cars to Daytona. Biggest race of the year for us. You know, starting off the season, we want to do it in a strong way and have a good showing today, but anything can happen here. So hoping I make it to the finish, and you know, I think if we do that, we'll be in a good spot.
Connor Zilic, part of that talented rookie class. Dylan's alongside another one of the rookies.
And Kim, we've talked a lot about some of the new look teams for this year. Colleague Racing is one of those teams. They returned series veteran Josh Williams, but there's a couple of new rookies making full-time season starts this year, including Daniel Dye on the left of the screen. You see Josh Williams in the middle, and Christian Eckes, who Parker just talked about, Truck Series veteran, but Xfinity Series debuted today. So let's talk to the man himself. You've got starts here in other series, but this is your first Xfinity start. With that said, does the previous starts give you any sort of confidence just with the style of racing that you're going to see to be able to go out and attack right away today?
Yeah, I think so. You know, speedway racing is kind of its own animal no matter what the vehicle you're in. Obviously, it's going to have different nuances with our Celsius Camaro today, but overall, just really looking forward to get this year underway. Huge thank you to Colleague Racing for this opportunity, Chevrolet, Leaf Filter, everybody involved, and yeah, we're looking to make some hay today. I'm not sure how fast our Celsius Camaro will be today. Felt pretty good in practice yesterday, but time will tell if it's as fast as Xfinity Internet.
Christian Eckes rolling off from 3rd today in the 16 car.
Well, next week, CW Sports Saturday returns with wall-to-wall action. First, it's an ACC doubleheader as Florida State faces Louisville, followed by Pitt taking on Notre Dame, and then the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Atlanta, where Austin Hill looks to win his 3rd straight. CW Sports Saturday next week, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW. And the CW also has a brand new show premiering this Wednesday, starring Leighton Meester, who you may remember from Gossip Girl, or maybe that's just me, but that follows an odd couple sister and brother detective team in a small Pacific Northwest town. Check out this exclusive clip of Good Cop, Bad Cop right now.
Look, believing that they're safe, that's what gives people the peace of mind to put their kids to bed at night. And that belief is the most important thing we can give them.
I thought it was, you know, like actual safety, which is tough to provide when our equipment is outdated. We don't have our own lab, and I'm surrounded by rookies. I feel like KG when he played for the Wolves. Give me some complimentary pieces or trade me to the Celtics.
You know, the city council is not going to give me the money for all that stuff.
At least hire me a partner, a new detective who isn't afraid to be a hard ass for me sometimes. I'm sick of having to play the I'll tell your mom card.
You know, I think you're right. I think a partner is exactly what you need.
Don't forget to check out the series premiere of Good Cop, Bad Cop Wednesday at 9/8 Central right here on the CW. We got more from NASCAR Countdown Live. We'll be right back.
But here comes Harrison Burton for the Wood Brothers. He's being pushed by Parker Retzlaff. Harrison Burton puts the block on. He goes below the double yellow line. Checkered flag is out. Harrison Burton and the legendary Wood Brothers win again at Daytona.
Thank you! To win the way that we just did, to beat the best in the business, Kyle Busch across the line, it's pretty fantastic.
And that was Harrison Burton's win back here. here in August, but in the Cup Series today, he makes his return to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And Harrison, you have not made a start in the series since 2021. What's been the biggest challenge coming back?
Yeah, I think just getting used to everything, right? And what's available and what's not. On the Cup side, you have information overload, and the Xfinity Series, things are kind of more old school, right? So trying to get used to all that, what I can use as tools and not. And then just the cars, the next-gen Cup Series car is completely different from this Xfinity Series car. So trying to get used to all that and drinking through a fire hose a little bit, but I think it'll come back pretty quick.
AM Racing is a smaller team. You have an affiliation with Haas Factory, but you got to have friends out there. As a single car, how do you approach this race?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we have to bring a fast car, right? If our car is as fast as Xfinity Mobile, I'm new to Xfinity. I got to say that now, I guess. But our dead-on tools Ford Mustang, I think, is going to be fast. And when you show up with a fast race car, things build, people see. And having a Cup win here helps, right? People around you know that you know how to get it done at the end, right? So hopefully my competitors see it that way and we can get a good relationship going. I know our Haas Factory team, Alliance guys, are going to be helpful as well, and the seed cars as well. So excited to work with all those guys and have a good win.
Harrison Burton has never finished outside the top 10 in his 4 Xfinity Series starts at Daytona. Hey, it's magic. We picked up a race party. We're on the grid right now. That's where all the action is to start the Xfinity Series race right now. We just heard from Harrison Burton. Does he have a shot today, and is he considered a sleeper?
Oh, I think anybody in the race has a shot today. And what's going to be really interesting about Harrison Burton is he won 4 races with Gibbs back in 2020, but he's not in Gibbs equipment right now. But he is at AM Racing, and they have support from the Haas Factory team, which are really good cars. It'll just be if they can use all of that support, the knowledge, to the best of their ability. But absolutely, he won the last time he was here in the Cup Series, so absolutely he has a shot.
Yeah. He has a lot to prove. It's a redemption year for him. I want to point out a couple other names I think are sleepers and challengers in this race. You've got Ryan Sieg, wants to win badly. In those cars, he's put a lot of effort in this season. Ryan Truex won here in Daytona in the summer. He could get it done. And then I got my boy, the dog at Super Speedways. That is Jeb Burton. When he sniffs the front end of Super Speedway, watch out. That guy wants it so badly. These are big races for him. He could get it done.
Man, an exciting start to the season with all these sleepers that could possibly win today. We're in Daytona at Daytona International Speedway right now, but how would you like to win an unforgettable trip to Orlando Universal Resort's newest theme park, Epic Universe, opening this May at Universal Epic Universe? You can explore immersive worlds like Celestial Park, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk of Darkness. For your chance to win an unforgettable trip to Universal Orlando Resort and experience Universal Epic Universe for yourself, scan the QR code or visit cwsweeps.com now to enter. Parker, I don't know about you, Jamie. Yeah. He seems like he is maybe an Orlando guy.
He doesn't have kids yet.
Huh? So I don't have kids yet. No, I avoid all that for now, for sure. But unless I wanted Daytona, then I'd go. Like the Daytona 500. You would? Yeah, then you go. Yeah, then you want to go.
It's a great area, though. So much to do around here. It's a lot of fun. I've been here for many years. A lot of fun.
Yeah. I love it. The racing's not the only thing here.
Yeah, if you don't go to Orlando, though, come to Daytona and experience all the good racing.
Now that's a theme park I like.
Yeah, all right, we got a lot more coming on NASCAR Countdown Live. It is all about the winners here, and Austin Hill knows a thing or two about that. We're going to try to talk to him when NASCAR Countdown Live continues.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains.
Oh, yeah, baby! Let's go!
Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com.
Welcome back to NASCAR Countdown Live. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear since 1925. The Goodyear blimp has been inspiring fans to keep looking up and keep driving forward. And things are really about to pick up here with drivers getting ready to climb in their cars. Some drivers, this is their first experience at Daytona, but it is not for Austin Hill, who knows a thing or two about winning here.
That's crazy. He has won 3 of these in a row.
Get the World Center of Racing. Austin Hill gets it done.
Oh, my goodness.
Mayer is turned. But there had been a caution. There it is. And for a second consecutive season, Austin Hill wins the season opener at Daytona. Georgia drivers got the hat trick at the World Center of Racing. Austin Hill able to win the race.
Come on.
Austin Hill has 7 wins on drafting tracks. An 8th here today would tie him with Dale Sr. and Tony Stewart. If you get it done today, what would that mean to you?
Well, I haven't even really thought about it a whole lot. I know a few people have told me that, but, you know, it's just another race for us. Going into this race, it's just like any other one. We got to learn early in the race with our Bennett Chevrolet, figure out what runs it can take, what runs it can't take, try to make the right moves at the right time and put ourselves in position at the end of this thing. But, yeah, it's special to be a part of the talk about stuff like that, but we're just here for one thing only, and that's just to win here at Daytona today and then go to the next one, win the next one, and just keep it rolling this year.
Austin Hill rolls off in the 4th position. You think Austin Hill's going to run the fastest lap today?
He has a chance.
Yeah.
It's as good a chance as anybody, that's for sure. The RCR car is so fast.
And what's different about this season is that if you do that, it's called the Xfinity Fastest Lap. It's pretty simple, guys. You run the fastest lap during the race, you get that bonus point. Parker, how big could this be for drivers?
I think this could have massive ramifications throughout the entire regular season as you try to plot where you're going to be in the playoffs for sure. And it just adds up. And I think that's the thing about this, that you may not pay attention early on, but eventually these will add up and it will pay off once we get in the playoffs. The other thing is here at the super speedways, Jamie, I think we'll see a very unusual person most likely get the fastest lap.
Yeah, we have a good shot of that. And if you just look at last year, Chandler Smith had 9 fastest laps. That'd be 9 extra points that he would have for the championship season. That could have big implications overall.
Yeah. Well, the grid is more crowded than ever right now, right? Fans are trying to get that last look at their drivers before they climb in. But for the viewers at home, can we give them a VIP pass? Show them the feeling and the energy that it has here. Kim, why don't you take us down the grid? Yeah, it is a packed grid down here. We've got Ryan Truex. The last time the Xfinity Series was here, he was in victory lane. But you're going to start from the 33rd position since qualifying was washed out. What's the approach?
Go to the front and stay there. Easy. We'll see.
I love it. Easy, simple. Go to the front and stay there, Dylan.
Well, we found Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the pit road, who's had a busy week between the Daytona 500 effort and his 4 Xfinity cars today. So I know this place means a lot to you. It probably never gets old seeing your cars on the racetrack here.
No, man, it's awesome to be in Daytona and have a car in any of the races down here, no matter what it is. And we're excited. We don't really know what to think about our Xfinity program yet. Practice was good, but qualifying got rained out, and that's a bit of a gauge of where we are speed-wise. And we feel like we're better than we were last year, but we'll see. We've got a couple rookie drivers behind the wheel. We're going to have to learn a lot really fast, and hopefully we got something for the end.
Thank you, Dale. Good luck the rest of this week. Kim?
Well, Matt DiBenedetto is looking stylish on pit road with your Viking hat. I love it. But as we talk about the race, how do you balance aggression and patience? We know Vikings are aggressive.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully we're there at the end when it counts. Got good horsepower under the hood with the ECR engines and switched to Chevrolet. And I really hope that the car is as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and then we'll be at the front when it counts and drive it to the front. So should be good. I mean, I'm excited for this new team. Thankful to Williamsburg Contracting and everything, all the hard work the team's put in over the offseason.
Matt DiBenedetto starts from the 30th position. Appreciate it, Kim. And now we have to give our picks for the championship. And listen, you could be right this early in the season. So, Jamie, who are you going with? What 4 are going to make the championship
it's tough.
He's going to go
this early in the season to make a pick, but you got to put Justin Allgaier on the list for sure. Last year's champion. He's going to be the favorite heading in. I have Sheldon Creed on that list as well. We talked about him not getting a win yet. I think that happens. Jesse Love, I mean, such a talent. He's going to be in the championship 4. And I also have Austin Hill.
Yeah.
That's wow. You went on a limb with that one.
Well,
yeah, I'm going to join. I'm going to join you.
Win. I didn't come to be nice.
That's true. Thank you. Okay. Well, then I'm going to join you on that limb. I'm going to take Austin Hill. I'm going to put Jesse Love in there. I'm going to put Christian Eckes.
Okay.
And I'm going to put, I don't know, maybe Justin Allgaier. How about that? We'll just maybe stack the deck a little bit for me. But I did have one rookie in there.
So that's the broad picture on the season. Let's talk about dark horses and picks for the race today. Who do you like, Parker?
All right, so my pick for a winner, I just put in my championship 4. That's Jesse Love. It was just Valentine's Day yesterday. Love is in the air. I think he can get it done. He won at Talladega last year. He had the pole at many super speedways, and he told me, though, I never won from a pole at a super speedway. Now he starts 9th. He likes that position to start. For my dark horse, Ryan Sieg. The guy wants to win so badly.
Yeah.
He is working so hard in the offseason. That team has moved to Mooresville, North Carolina from Georgia. They're putting all the resource and effort to try and win here.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb for my winner, and I'm going to go with Austin Hill. He's won the last 3 in February, so I'll go ahead and take him right now.
These are layups.
For my dark horse, I'm going with Brennan Poole. He's been so close to being able to win. Actually won one of these and had it taken away. I think he's the guy that could maybe get it done today.
Wouldn't know what that feels like.
Yeah, right. He's Parker Klickerman Jr. How's that sound?
All right, guys, you got to get to the booth. The Xfinity Series race, it's coming up here. We got the green flag on deck, and, of course, a lot more coming here from Daytona International Speedway on CW Sports. It's how we start our season. Daytona International Speedway on the CW, and by the end of the night, it'll have one more winner added to the history books, and no one would love to get their first win in the series here more than the guy that Dylan Welch is with right now.
Well, let's just talk about Sheldon Creed. He calls starting in this position 6th through 20th the danger zone. So how does he escape that? Because he starts on the leading edge of the danger zone in that 6th spot. Their goal, get to the front and stay there. And as a former teammate of Austin Hill, who we've talked about, who's so good here, Sheldon has studied what makes him so successful here. Now it's just about applying it. He was 2nd here last year, feels better about this year's car. Is today the day, Kim, that Creed finally reaches victory lane? He sure likes his chances.
Well, Dylan, for his teammate Sam Mayer, super speedways have not been kind to Sam. His best finish here in 7 starts is 12th, and Sam hopes to change that here today. How is he going to do that? Well, he's confident about his car and said it feels very stable in practice. He could put it anywhere he wanted. Sam told me he wants a victory here more than any other place because this is the only style track he's not won yet at. Carla, he starts from the 8th position.
Love that, Kim. And listen, all Justin Allgaier had to do was win the championship to be on the pole here to start Daytona International Speedway, the Xfinity race here on the season. But he said it's kind of weird. I actually wanted to qualify here to show that we could actually be here, be good here at qualifying. He said, though, that he just wants to win here, right? He wants to take this pole to stay up front. He said, I got to figure out how to stay up front, and I got a lot of friends to do it with. And as we get ready to start today's pre-race ceremonies, we have Golden Corral would like to take a moment to thank our nation's heroes and honor the privilege to serve those who serve.
All the selfless men and women who gave their lives for this great country.
Appreciation to those fallen service members and their families. Together, we remember them all. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you are able. Remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the Osceola High School Junior ROTC Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome Daytona Beach native Reverend Tyrese Manigault.
Let us pray. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, we pause now and we take this moment to say thank you. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. And we thank you now that we can see this wonderful day that you have created. We now pause and we ask now for your protection, your provision for every driver, for every crew member, every fan and spectator, every person gathered here today as we witness this great spectacle known as racing. We thank you now that we have an opportunity to enjoy the richness of life and the fullness there within. We ask you now to grant us the ability to enjoy everything that this day has to offer. And we pray now that you continue to bless us, bless our troops, bless our nation, and bless our entire world. It is in the name of Jesus we pray all of these things. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Lindsey Bowman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let's hear it from
Golden Corral has supported our veterans for over 2 decades through Military Appreciation Nights, providing meals to veterans and active duty service members at no cost, and is proud to host Camp Corral, fun-packed camps around the country for the children of wounded, ill, injured, or fallen military members. It truly is a special experience for the kids and their families. And with that, it is almost time. Fans are ready. The drivers are locked in. The only thing that's needed, the command for drivers to start those engines. That's next when we come back.
And down the Long Beach straightaway, loose sand in the turn makes rough going. Dreams are proven in performance at Daytona Beach.
For decades, the best in the world have journeyed to this hallowed ground to stake their claim on greatness.
But as the tides change, so do the players.
Georgia drivers got the hat trick at the World Center of Racing.
A set of new faces are poised to seize the moment.
Jussie Love,
Nick Sanchez, William Sawalich.
This is the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Justin Allgaier is the NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
This could be the greatest field the series has ever seen.
And it all starts today at the World Center of Racing.
Welcome back to the season opener for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona. The driver who's won this race the last 3 years, that would be Austin Hill. He's going for a 4th straight here today. I asked him why these drafting tracks suit his racing style so well. He said, I'm aggressive, but I'm not dirty. The team, they know they have a fast race car. Their biggest challenge, though, who will be willing to work with Austin? He said the closer to the end of the race, the fewer the friends he seems to have. Dylan.
Well, and Cam, a rookie in the NASCAR Xfinity Series is William Sawalich, but he's been busy so far this weekend. Finished 9th in the Truck Series race last night, 2nd in the ARCA race earlier this weekend. Talked to crew chief Jeff Mindering about all that he's doing. He said, I like that Williams running it all. He's going to be comfortable with the track and in a pack by our race here tonight. Of course, that's the name of the game here, being comfortable. Sawalich is just 18 years old, but already a 2-time champion in ARCA. He's ready to tackle the high banks of Daytona for the first time in an Xfinity car tonight.
And Sawalich, part of a stacked rookie class, the largest ever in the series with 8 full-time series. And before we get going today, let's go trackside to get the engines fired.
Daytona International Speedway, are you ready to get the Xfinity Series United Rentals 300 started? Here to give the command to fire engines, President and Chief Executive Officer of United Electric, Joe Kellums.
Drivers, start your engines!
We are just about to get the Xfinity Series season underway. The guys are in the booth. They're ready to get the Xfinity Series season started at Daytona, and we will do that when the CW comes back.
CW Sports live at Daytona International Speedway. You can't beat race day at the World Center of Racing. Welcome to CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series opener at Daytona. Brought to you by Celsius. Live fit. So good to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast booth with the Daytona 500 champion, Jamie McMurray, and the man that's made the playoffs the last 2 years in the Xfinity Series, Parker Kligerman. I'm Adam Alexander. We got 33 races ahead. Let's be patient with each other, okay?
Good, yeah. Good plan, Adam.
Hey, let's rewind 15 years. You win the 500. Describe the magic for a driver winning at this place.
You know, guys, I've been fortunate enough to race so many different types of cars here, whether it's karts to cup cars. I've been able to win in a go-kart, the Rolex 24, and you see right here the Daytona 500. I can assure you that for every driver in the field today, this will be the biggest win of their career if they're able to get to victory lane, and it's a memory that you'll never forget. Get to go to victory lane here at Daytona means more than anywhere else that we go.
Jamie, I got to feel that
well,
last night.
you came really close. How does that sound?
Yeah, I felt that last night. Obviously, it was one of the biggest wins of my career. And we talk about Daytona being the biggest of the Cup Series. It's the biggest for the Xfinity Series. It's the biggest for the Truck Series. These are the highest paid races of the year, the biggest crowds. I felt that win of Daytona. Saw the World Center of Racing above me. I couldn't believe it. Unfortunately, we had some issues in post-race tech, but I believe we have a very valid case to make in our appeal, which will come on Tuesday. I look forward to keeping that win.
We have talked about the two of you on track at Daytona. Now let's talk about the drivers on track today. Give me someone to watch.
All right, so I'm going to go out on a limb here, but he's a speedway savant. That is Austin Hill. Some term him as a bully, but this guy at the super speedways is the one to watch because of what he mentioned in the pre-race. His aggression. He just gets to the front. He takes runs. He doesn't relinquish the front when he gets there, and he will make you work for it. If you want to get by him, he will be the show here today as long as that car's still running.
Well, Parker went with the obvious. I'm going to go with a rookie, and I'm going to go with Connor Zilic. Everything that Connor has gotten in for the last 12 months, he's been able to win in, and he dominates races. You think back to Watkins Glen, sets on the pole, dominates that race. We knew that he would be good at road courses. What I was impressed with last year, though, was how he did on the ovals. 2 top 5s in 3 of his oval starts. This kid is the real deal.
That lazy slide at Kansas when he was able to hang on to.
He has the car control.
It's insane.
Qualifying rained out earlier today. That puts our reigning champ, Justin Allgaier, on the pole. Let's look now at our Celsius starting grid.
Yeah, you see right here, Taylor Gray going to be on the front row. Our champ, Justin Allgaier, obviously starting first. Sheldon Creed, though, is someone you see in row 3 I have my eye on today. William Zawalich, one of our rookies.
Right, and then you have Carson Koppel back there, one of the rookies as well at the end of that road. And then as we go into the second row 7, Ryan Sieg, a dark horse for me. Nick Sanchez, my old ride in row 6. And Connor Zilic, as you mentioned, back in row 10, starting 20th. He's only ever done a truck race at Talladega in terms of super speedways.
You see Jeff Burton, 2 super speedway wins, both at Talladega, but this track's fairly similar. Blaine Perkins right there in row 13. Jeremy Clements has a win in the Xfinity Series. Matt DiBenedetto, I think he could be the story today if he's able to win. It's a great comeback story for Matt.
That'd be a great Cinderella story. We'd love to see it. And back here, we got some heavy hitters. Harrison Burton, that new redemption ride, as we're calling it. Ryan Truex in row 17, who won here back in the summer. He wants to prove he can do it in a non-Joe Gibbs Racing car. And for Sam Hunt, that would be absolutely massive. And Jordan Anderson, the team owner who's also racing back there at the back of the field.
You know, Richard Childress Racing has got quite a history at Daytona. 9 wins in the Xfinity Series, the best of anyone all time. Let's hear from their second-year driver, Jesse Love, rolls 9th today, Jamie.
Hey, Jesse, this is Jamie Mack and the guys up in the CW booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, I know we're getting ready to go racing here, but I talked to your crew chief, Danny Stockman. He told me your game plan for the race. You're starting 9th. I want to know what your plan is from the driver's seat.
I mean, just try to lead every lap. I mean, that's how you stay away from the big one, and that's where you're the safest. So, got all the power in the world. Got a great crew chief, race spotter. Got all the tools to make it happen. Got a picture to keep me up front. So, gonna go try to execute today, make smart decisions, and get out front. And I think that's the safest place to be.
Sounds like a perfect plan. Parker's been up here building you up, so we'll all be watching you. Good luck today.
I like his chances.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, PK.
He's going to be a big player today, no doubt about it. Before we go green, let's hear from our pit reporters. We start things off with Kim Kuhn. Hello, Kim.
Well, Ryan Truex is the most recent winner here, and he joked on the grid that to replicate that, he just got to take it to the front. But in all seriousness, he told me that last year he learned the level of aggression needed to win these races. In this race last year, he was too conservative, he said. But in the summer event that he won, he was the most aggressive from start to finish he's ever been in a race. If he wins today, Dylan, it'll give Sam Hunt Racing their first series win.
Well, Kim, another one of the highly touted rookie classes, Carson Quaffle. He raced at Talladega last year, so has some laps at super speed. speedways, but acknowledge there are some differences between the two. Their plan today is also get to the front as quickly and efficiently as they can. He and crew chief Andrew Overstreet feel like that's the safest place to be. They both mentioned banking some points today as the ultimate goal. Carla, the best way to do that is at the front of the field.
Absolutely, and every driver is going to be vying for this trophy right here at the end of the night. This is what they want to hoist up, and hey, you get a cool hard hat as well. But not only that, if you win this race, you get to start your season with the most points, the most money. And listen, you might not run well the rest of the season. You win at Daytona, though, and it covers up a lot. So every driver wants to be in victory lane at the end of the night, but it's more about the setup for the rest of the season,
You
guys.
get the points, you get the money, and you lock yourself into the playoffs. That would be nice, as we're only in the month of February. Closed captioning for this race is brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Allgaier takes the outside lane for the start of this race. Let's get 7 radio. Here's the reigning champ.
Week, I know it's taken a lot away from you guys this week, but I appreciate all the effort. This offseason's been amazing. Title, defense, going for number 2 starts today, boys.
I love the balance of the front row.
Good pep talk right before it
Oh,
starts.
yeah.
And I think that choice of taking the top, look who's behind him. 21 car, Austin Hill. That's who you want to be pushing right at the start. It could have been Chris Neckis, a rookie. Instead, he takes the veteran, of course.
You mentioned a rookie. It's a rookie to his left. You got a 38-year-old champion on the outside who's closing on 500 career starts. On the inside, a 19-year-old rookie who's racing at Daytona for the first time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The nerves and jitters prior to racing at Daytona. Pace car is in. It's time for Xfinity action on the CW. We are green at Daytona.
Top lane forming up real quickly. They all left Taylor Gray there to dry, all moving to the top. And you see that top lane forming. It was 3 veterans: Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, and Christian Eckes. Thought, hey, that's a good line to be behind.
Yeah, all you got to do, though, is be patient if you're Taylor Gray, because you see they got in right behind him. It's going to surge back forward. Speedway racing is just all about trying to put yourself in the best position 30 seconds from now. You saw those guys go to the top. He stayed calm. You see now they're getting back to start finish line. He has a good chance of actually leading this lap.
Get out the crystal ball, look into the future,
Hard to
right?
see the future in this, for
see
sure.
what's happening around the next corner.
And well, one thing, Adam, you'll see here is you'll start to see cars dipping out and sort of looking. That's you're just getting your bearings. Remember, most of these drivers have not drafted at all in practice. This is the first time they're running a pack like this. And Jamie, you know, your sight lines are all messed up, and suddenly you're trying to get your bearings. There's a car right in front of you. You can't really see, and so you'll see more wiggling, more moving right now early on the race. But drivers just try to sort out, okay, what's my car doing, and where do I need to be looking? And that's what you'll start to see is it'll calm down as we get further in the race.
Yeah, and it'll take 10 or 15 laps for those guys to kind of get in the groove, be comfortable with how hard they're going to push, with the spotters just communicating with them. You're a long ways from the car when you're spotting here at Daytona. They're using binoculars to do that, but it takes a little while to get in your comfort zone.
This is the Whelen onboard camera. We're riding with Jesse Love tucked up behind Brandon Jones in the draft.
Yeah, the interesting part about this inside line is we've got, Taylor leading that pack, but William Zawalich is right behind him. He doesn't have any starts either here. He did run the truck race and the ARCA race, did well in both of those today, but he's just trying to learn right now. If I'm William Zawalich, I want to get in behind an Austin Hill. I want to get in behind Justin Allgaier, somebody that has experience. I'm going to stay behind them for a lot today, and I'm going to try to learn of when they make a decision, when they don't make a decision, because there's so many things that happen in this type of racing that maybe don't make sense in the moment, and then 20 seconds later you're like, I get it. I understand why we're doing that now.
Bottom left in our bumper, you see the breakdown, stage, and race. When it comes to laps, opening stage is 30 laps long. You don't have to make a pit stop. Everybody would be expected to run to the caution at the end of the opening stage before they hit pit road. And the rookie getting after it in that inside lane, the 54 black and yellow Toyota Taylor Gray.
And that 3 Toyotas on the bottom started to surge there as the Chevys up top just lost their sort of connection and lost a bit of their energy. And Jamie, you alluded to sort of trying to figure it out as we watch Austin Hill get to the bumper of Justin Allgaier. This is classic bump drafting. We've seen at Daytona forever. He'll release him as he gets into the corner. But one of the things you're trying to figure out for the rookies is the Xfinity car drafts in a very unique way. It generates runs that take a while. They take time to come together, and when you get those runs, you start to realize you most likely have to take them because they're few and far between. They're hard to generate, and that's one of the things especially these rookies are starting to figure out as they run around here.
Riding with Christian Eckes, our Celsius onboard camera, making his first ever Xfinity start here today. So far, so good. Your race leader, Justin Allgaier.
What if you could have shades like these for a fraction of big brand prices? With Shady Rays, you can. We're an independent company, so we do things differently. We offer high-quality polarized shades for a reasonable price, and we personally replace shades that get lost or broken. So far, we've racked up over 300,000 five-star reviews. I founded Shady Rays so that we can have sunglasses that stand up to whatever life throws at us. Order now and get 20% off site-wide at shadyrays.com.
Liberty. Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance. Liberty.
Hey, kid. It's pronounced Bibberty.
Liberty.
Bibberty.
Liberty.
Bibberty.
Liberty.
Bibberty. Now she's mocking me. Very mature.
Hey, that's enough, you two.
Hey, I'm not the one acting like a total baby.
She's two.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty. Liberty.
Big.
Small. Essential.
Big. Small. Essential.
Big. Small.
Essential.
Grande.
Pequeño.
Esencial. No matter what business you're in, Verizon Business has the network and solutions you need to power it.
Motorsports isn't complicated. It's made up of races where you go as fast as you can, as best as you can, as sideways as you can, and whatever this is. Our team, Toyota Gazoo Racing. We make some seriously fast cars, like this one and this one, definitely this one. And they all have great drivers, ones that win, like win a lot. Look at all these legends. The hottest drivers right now are him, her, and this guy. They're all part of a big, happy family of speed demons. Now you're up to speed. You in?
If you're sharing a hotel room with friends, you're also sharing a bathroom and a mirror, a tiny hairdryer, and an outlet, and a tiny counter. Get an Airbnb and get more space.
Is that my bestie in a taxi? Fresh blowout, skin on town, she red. And my best friend, she a real bad, got her own money. She don't need no on the dance floor.
The wheel and caution lights are on at Daytona International Speedway. You saw what happened when we were side by side. 5 laps in, big crash taking out some major players.
Right, this start of the 20 of Brandon Jones on the backstretch here. He's going to get a bad bump, so it's Jesse Love behind him. Now, I don't know, Jamie, if it was quite a checkup that occurred, so we'll take a look here.
Yeah, you see he's offset. Now he got centered back up right there. It's that they got checked up in front of him, and Jesse Love doesn't know that at that moment. You're trying to get to the back bumper and give a push. And listen, it's lap 5, lap 6 of the race. You're kind of then starting to get a little bit more aggressive. You want to get your lane to go forward. And he just got into the back of Brandon, and you see turned him into the outside wall. Got Carson Quapple as well. A lot of the rookies got caught up in this. I think
Daniel Dye.
Yeah, this collected a lot of rookies. It looked like Connor Zilic maybe got away with it, having just put 4 tires on, little front end damage. But this is the thing that you'll hear a lot of the spotters talk about as well, is that they'll give you the distance in front of you of the car that's in front to the back, basically trying to give you the idea that you can't push that car in front of you. But this checkup happened so quick, I don't think he could react.
And Parker, it looks like it starts actually with Justin Allgaier on the front row. He got a little loose and checks up, and then just like as you're on the interstate, you get 4 or 5 rows back, it's magnified, and that's when someone ends up getting turned. The savior of this wreck for a lot of guys like Harrison Burton is that that's all paved now and not grass.
This is our Race to Stop Suicide onboard camera. You're riding with Daniel Dye.
You see it on the left here, that bright yellow car, Brandon Jones. Oh, it's just
nowhere to go.
And there's just it takes so little, such a small bump and a compression like that to just upset the race car. There's nothing Brandon Jones could do, and he's spinning from the front.
Under caution early at Daytona. Several cars involved on the back straightaway. You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series season opener on CW. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Celsius. Live fit. Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express card. If you missed out on the Double the Thrill sweepstakes, you're in luck. You can now enter the CW's Epic Sweeps for your chance to win an unforgettable trip to Universal Orlando Resort and the new Universal Epic Universe Park, opening May 22nd, 2025. Scan the QR code or visit the CWSweeps.com now to enter. Early caution. At least 9 cars involved in that incident on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and if you survived that, Parker, I always was like, okay, I've missed the big one. Now we can race. Everybody's going to take a deep breath and hopefully, be a little more conscious. We'll find out if that's the case today.
It's like a reset. If you survived, right? You kind of get this chance to catch your breath. You start to think about what the car's doing, how it can be better, that sort of thing. And you start to evaluate what was I doing, what was working, what wasn't. You get this chance to sort of look back and give yourself some critiques, and that helps for the drivers that were involved. As you look at Jeff Burton's trying to avoid the sun right here. That will be something as we go later into this race. The sun gets really bad off turn 4 here at Daytona.
It does, and you have to have a clear visor because it's going to end in the dark, so you got to kind of be planned for that. We're going to take another look at this replay again from Jeff Burton's view. Watch him try to... Oh, it's so close right there for him.
The dog finds his way through.
He feels like he did it all. That's right.
Maybe this is his year, because last year I felt like he was involved in every crash.
Oh, it's a big hit right there. It's incredible to see the hits, especially on the headrest, after the big hit, all the small impacts that don't look bad, and you see their head bounce around inside of that headrest.
Yeah, it just shows you the brutality of these hits, and they can look sort of mundane from the outside occasionally, and the car absorbs so much of the impact, but no matter what, the driver is taking a brunt of that impact each and every time. It's just something you have to feel.
Now let's get tonight's golden moment, brought to you by Golden Corral, courtesy of the Golden Corral onboard camera. What a move. It was worth a second look, right?
Do you think in that golden moment that he had his eyes open or closed? Because I think at some point when you think you're going to hit, I never wanted to see the wreck, so I would shut them, and then I would open one to see if I made it.
Are you sure you want to be admitting that right now?
I'm done. I'll admit everything now.
You're closing your eyes to the race car?
Absolutely, if I thought I was going to hit.
I usually tried to look where I was going to get away from the wreck.
Yeah.
Find me a hole. Find me an exit plan. I wanted to pull the Jeff Burton there and have the seas part in front of me and allow myself out.
The one thing that's a little deceiving from those in-cars is that from in the car, the smoke, a lot of times you can't see as much as you can on the camera from the car. So good for him for surviving that.
Austin Hill, the race leader, as we get set for the restart. Allgaier, who was good early, front row, was third when the caution came out.
Eddie, we're about 5 laps from the sun being really brutal off of 4, and then it's going to take it a minute to go down. Right now it's going to be a little brutal, so maybe 5 to 10, next 5 to 10 laps is going to be an issue. Copy that. Thank you.
Old teammates in the outside lane. Sheldon Creed pushing Austin Hill. We're green once again here at Daytona.
this is a classic case of speedway racing where you'll help not your best friend if it'll help you, and that's what Sheldon Creed's doing right here.
Especially on a restart, it doesn't matter who's in front of you. You just want to get them going. It helps you to get going as well. And as Justin Allgaier alluded to, that sun off of 4, what makes it really tough is if there's any puffs of smoke, if there's any sort of wiggles out of race cars, you won't see that. So he's basically telling his spotter, you need to be my eyes as we go through that corner right now with the bad sunlight. Sheldon Creed hooked up to the back of Austin Hill. They're going to go to the front.
Yeah, Allgaier was able to get off of the 16's front bumper and drove away for a second. While that's good, the momentum that they gain on the outside line with him being by himself, you see them just drive right back by the outside. Look at I'm going to tell you, the 16 car is loose. Every time he exits turn 4, he has his hands full.
I talked to him this morning about the Xfinity car. This is his first Xfinity start with all his success in trucks. It was really surprising, and he said, you know, when I went to the Rockingham test, it stuck out to me. It's just like a really bad driving truck. And I was like, yeah, it'll get worse, don't worry. These things have way less downforce than what Christian Eckes is used to in the NASCAR Truck Series. Therefore, the handling is more apparent in these cars. It's more important, and he's going to feel that here in that race car.
You see Justin Allgaier go up and try to get a side draft off of those guys. He has to be careful, though, because you see a lot of times when guys go up to get that side draft, if the outside lane doesn't go all the way against the wall, they have contact. It actually cost him in this race 1 year ago, spun out to the inside. But you want to do that, you're just trying to stall that lane out and get your lane going again.
And Justin is one of the most aggressive side drafters in the Xfinity Series.
It's so annoying when someone does it to you.
It's frustrating. You want him to go away. His exhaust is in your left ear. It's bothering you. He feels like he's going to hit you. You're thinking, man, we're only 13 laps in this race.
What are you doing?
Yeah, why are you doing this? But that's what he does, and it gets him to he gets that bottom lane moving forward by doing it. And as you see the bottom lane starts to surge, that's because he's getting those side drafts, and everyone's going to follow him, so it's going to get super tight against that outside line.
Austin Hill, a familiar scene. The man in charge here at Daytona, down to Kim.
Yeah, looking for 4 in a row in this season opener, and he reported that the car is decent right now, has good drivability. He's at the point right now, but when he was in traffic, he described the car as being hard to break the bubble in front of him. So, Parker, when he talks about this bubble, what specifically is he referring to?
It's great info, Kim. And so what he's referring to is essentially where we saw some of the cars get pushed out in front without them actually hitting bumpers. And Jamie, this is what is in the Xfinity car, the design of the aerodynamic package, where this bubble will form behind the front car, and therefore that other car that's trying to push it will just start compacting that air, and the front car will drive away from that before you ever touch their bumper. That bubble is very frustrating because what it does is it does not allow you to push other cars the way you want to push them, stay connected. It can make it harder to generate runs if you can't break that bubble. So the mark of a good Xfinity car on a super speedway is one that you see start breaking that bubble. If you see a car that's able to get right to the rear bumper on command when they want, that is a great race car in the super speedway in the Xfinity Series.
Now we go to Carla at the Infield Care Center.
Yeah, thanks, Adam, here with Daniel Dye. Obviously not the way you wanted to start your rookie season. What'd you see there from your vantage point?
Yeah, I mean, just the right side door number of the 20 car coming right at me, so nothing you can really do. You hear the guys in the iRacing lobbies tell you can't wait on the first lap. It kind of felt like that was what was going on out there. So tough, but our champion container Chevy was fast. I think we had a car capable of moving forward. So, going to a similar type of race next week, just got to learn. Take what I learned from the first 3 laps of this race that I got to run and bring it to Atlanta.
All right, thanks, Daniel. Guys.
Hardest interview you give, right? You get wrecked out in the first race. All we've talked about is points. You get down here, you get wrecked out on lap 6. They stick a mic in your face. I thought he did a pretty good job being as optimistic as he could. He'll hope that the next few weeks that he can gain some of those points back.
Past the halfway point in our opening stage. Hill, Creed, Gray, Sawalich, Sanchez.
Closed captioning for today's race is brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever.
Keep it up.
Emmett Smith.
I know you missed another game.
TV is so expensive.
Get a Tableau device and you can watch live sports for free. Learn more at TableauTV.com.
Don't miss your chance to race for the million.
Finalists, are you ready? Ready!
The NASCAR Powerball Playoff is back. Enter now to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at the Phoenix Raceway, where you could take home $1 million.
The winner is contestant number 2. This is insane!
The race for the million is on.
It feels amazing.
Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR, at home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
Did you bring it?
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
You know what's crazy?
That you can get a buffet to go?
That Tony is getting a salad. And Lou should not do stand-up.
But that's like a third roll.
I'm on a roll.
That you can start with dessert.
Or how about soup?
Wait and pay, baby.
Safe Flight Repair.
Perfecting your swing is hard.
Nice shot, Dad. Safe Flight Replace.
But replacing your windshield doesn't have to be. Go to safelight.com and schedule a replacement today.
The thing about traveling with your kids is that each year they get bigger, but the hotel stays the same size. Get an Airbnb and get room for everyone.
My new car. Please bring me good juju. You need good juju? Juju Watkins. Check this out. Wow, that is good, but I just wanted to make sure my car has coverage. Oh, you don't need me. You need, like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
A State Farm agent can help you choose the right coverage at a price that's right for you.
So who's up for some one-on-one?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it back, green.
Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Show us your NASCAR fan cave. Post a photo of your fan cave on X along with a hashtag CW NASCAR Challenge for your chance to win a $500 Fanatics gift card and have your fan cave shown on air at the end of the race. Go to the CW Sports profile at the CW Sports over on X for more information and full entry details. Under caution for the second time in stage 1. Debris on track. Brennan Poole's got a whole lot going on in that 44.
I think we know where it came from, by the way, here. Taking a look at Brennan Poole on the front stretch.
Yeah, it only takes, as they try to tape all those parts back on, it takes just the smallest amount of air to get underneath that hood. You see it 200 miles an hour, it blows it right off.
And it's unfortunate because he's a driver that's always a player at this style of racing. And, oh, by the way, got married in the offseason. So even though today is not going his way, congratulations to Brennan Poole. Let's go back to Carla.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, Brandon Jones here. His day is done. Your car was really the first one to get turned on the track, but you said you know exactly where this came from.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's way too early to be able to go out of this race. There was some really good cars on the bottom right there, and I had two teammates in front of me, and so I thought we were in a pretty good situation, but the momentum kind of got choked up in that bottom lane, and trying to avoid getting into our teammates, I tried to pull that lane back just a little bit, and it's just not a good place to be getting pushed right off the corner. So yeah, I don't know. You know, I'll go back. I'll look at it. I'm one to always try to figure out how to get better at this craft. Always try to get better at this racing, but it looks to me right now like there's nothing that I could have done any differently. So this is not how we're going to begin the quest to go get a championship. I'll get my guys rallied back around. I'm really happy to be back here at Joe Gibbs Racing in the number 20. Have Menards and Swiffer on our car this weekend. That was a big deal for him. We had a lot of people from Menards, so pretty mad that we got taken out so early.
Thanks so much. He said he loved his car those first 10 laps, guys.
Yeah, and Brandon Jones, I completely agree with you. And I liked his attitude about that. He's like, I'll go back and look at it. But when you look at the replay, he's like, nobody did anything wrong. It's just that accordion effect. They checked up, and he was the guy that drew the short straw on that. I hate to say a racing deal, but it literally was.
Going to have a short run here to end stage 1. And as we remain under caution, let's take a look now at Matt DiBenedetto's Race Fit Health Report, brought to you by Brestree.
I've never been 5'11".
I've never been 205 pounds either. If I do, I've got big problems.
And he's strong. I mean, and I like the diet, though. High protein, I think that's the fad right now. Yeah. Plenty of meat and veggies.
Spends a lot of time in the gym. I've seen Matt in the gym. I've seen his workout routines. And
oh, my Lord. Look at that.
That's
insane.
Don't look at Matt.
Is that real?
The plates on either side of that bar.
I need video.
The
Did he
bar
lift it up, or is it just a picture?
Hold the plates, let alone the human being below there. That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Look at that guy.
Hey, pit road's going to be open this time. Will we have some takers that come here? You know, fuel-wise, you could make it if you pit here to the end of stage 2. So what are your thoughts?
I think a few, if they want to forego possibility at stage points, you may come down here, get some tires, or just at least make your stop shorter at the end of this next stage, which then you can go all the way to the end of the second stage. So we'll see who the takers are. I believe if you're at the front, why don't you just stay there and get your stage points? But if you're a little further back, it's a good opportunity to sort of flip the stage.
Yeah, I would want to get the stage points. We hear about points all year long. We're talking about the Xfinity fastest lap being that extra bonus point. If I'm the front, I'm staying out. If I'm mid-pack or in the back. If I'm Christian Eckes, I'm definitely coming in, and I'm going to say, tighten me up and give me some tires.
He's there.
He is there.
Everybody in the top 10 stayed out. We do have a few takers, including Justin Allgaier. Let's head down to Progressive Pit Road. Here's Kim.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier reporting just a touch free in the middle of the corner. There was some debate on the radio on whether or not to come down. Ultimately, they bring that car down. Looks like it's going to be left side tires only for Allgaier, and they'll make a slight air pressure adjustment.
I go back to what you said, Parker. There's really two schools of thought here. If you pit here, you create a couple of options, right? You can either pit again at the end of the stage, but it just means you're going to have a shorter stay to top off with fuel, or you just stay out at the end of the stage and run it all the way through
the way to play
the end of stage 2. Austin Hill leading. Restart coming up. Looking for a cable news network which respects all Americans? Then you have a new home with News Nation. See why News Nation is America's fastest growing cable news network. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com. This is going to be a fun little ending.
Look at that sun. Man, those guys are ready for that to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Sheldon Creed likes being behind Austin Hill. He thinks that's going to be his best position to be in.
Push the fastest car.
Absolutely.
It's a good choice.
Parker, when it comes down to the end of one of these stages, I always like to use it like the end of the race. Even though you're not going to be quite as aggressive as you are at the end of the race, I always like to put myself in position and see what I can do and what I need to do, what I need to get better at as the race closes down.
It's a great point. I always think of super speedway racing for a majority of the race is almost like practice. Practice the moves. Practice where you want to be.
And if it doesn't work out, it's okay.
Who cares? You got many more laps. It only pays in the last one. So, of course, there's stage points that pay out, but definitely you're thinking about where do you want to be come late in this race, whether it's on a restart, last lap. You're trying to figure that out because every super speedway race is different. Although the package hasn't changed, the drivers maybe haven't changed. It evolves. It changes. It's just different.
Kim, Justin Allgaier among those that made a pit stop a moment ago.
Yeah, Adam, for those drivers that made that stop, they're kind of in the mess of things as we see this restart with just what will be 5 to go in the stage once they get the green. And here was the directive from crew chief Jim Pullman to Justin.
I don't need you to be madman through there, right? We only got a couple laps to the end of this. It's going to pan out for you. We obviously got to finish, not tear it up, and then we're going to cycle back to the lead here. Copy.
So that was the strategy for the 7. I'm not sure, guys, how Batman drives, but for Jim Pullman, it's don't do any Batman moves here for the final laps of this stage.
I'm guessing fast.
I felt like that was Dad saying, don't wreck this thing, okay?
Basically, and means that's the risk. You put yourself back in the pack. It's going to play out strategy-wise, but don't get involved in the wreck. We see that often when people play this strategy.
Going to be 5 to go, stage 1, when we return to the green flag. he always seems stressed out to me, Jim Pullman, you know. And I saw him down there in the Cup garage area the other day, and he's just kind of on the sidelines, and he seems stressed.
That's because you're just always so relaxed.
Maybe that's it. Austin Hill, Taylor Gray, front row. We're rolling again here in Central Florida.
Taylor Gray and Williams Walsh have done an exceptional job on that inside lane, being able to maintain them. They got two of the best guys on their outside.
And Justin Bonsignor, who has very little experience at this, just doing the same thing, following them. It's 3 powerful Toyotas down on the bottom line, fighting against those Chevys up top. Nick Sanchez has joined up there. Well, it's Sheldon Creed in a Ford. He's joined up there with Austin Hill. Then as it's
getting crazy now.
Jordan Anderson off down below the line. You want to merge back in safely when that happens.
And you don't want to go below that double yellow line and advance your position, because if you do, you'll be penalized. All good there for Anderson.
Yeah, Jesse Love hung Williams and Walsh out, and that's what he's going to have to learn as this race goes on. You got to protect both sides. He's got his teammate right in front of him, but you don't always know what the guy behind you is going to do. He'll learn as this goes on.
Austin Hill leading that blue and white Chevrolet out front, the 21. Just behind him, 00, a Ford. That Sheldon Creed, new team this year. 48, orange and white car in that outside lane. That's Nick Sanchez, the rookie for Big Machine. And right behind him, that red, white, and yellow 27, Jeb Burton making a play.
Yeah, and Parker, it's so hard when you're in that outside line. You can go at any moment, but you're like, if I go now, is anyone going to go with me? There's a lot of decisions to be made, and as we come to 3 to go this time, you probably don't want to make your move until you're going down the backstretch on the last lap, but it's hard when you see someone behind you pull out a line. You have to make that decision in a split second.
And the key for Austin Hill here is I look who's behind him. There's no real teammates that are stacked up. There's no manufacturers that are stacked up, so he really has himself first each and every one, which is a great position for him. For Nick Sanchez, who's pushing Sheldon Creed hard right now into turn 1, he's trying to find that moment, create that run to see if maybe they can create a run on the 21.
Yeah, and as we were talking about, you use this the same way you would at the end of the race. If I'm Sheldon Creed, I'm right now sizing up. How do I back up to get that little bit of push that Nick Sanchez gave me? Where do I want that to be? You can roll out of the gas to back up to that car behind you and then generate that run when you need it.
Bennett onboard camera from the car of Austin Hill looking back at Sheldon Creed, single file in that outside lane for now.
The other thing that I don't want to do in this moment is make someone mad that I might need later in the race. If I pull out a line, if I hang someone out now, they know that I won't hang with them later in the race.
And the key here is whoever does drop down, don't do it alone, do it 2 or 3 cars. That's why without having teammates up there, Sheldon wiggles through the trial. That's a dangerous place to be pushing. I made that mistake with Sheldon 2 years ago and spun him out actually in this race in that same car. So Nick, take it from me, be a little easier on him through the trial.
This is a great view. We can see if Sheldon tries to back up a little bit to Nick Sanchez. You see Austin Hill got out. Sanchez is now going to get on his bumper. Does Sheldon take this run or does he not? He doesn't. No. He rolled out the throttle right there and elected to stay right behind Austin Hill.
And you see Nick Sanchez and Jeb Burton there in the orange and white car and the yellow and orange car. They're basically fading down. They're just trying to see if there is that opportunity to start to dip and make a run, because then the 00 and the 21 will have to protect or not have the pushers.
Going to be 1 lap to go this time around when we cross the start-finish line in our opening stage. And a reminder, if you win the stage, you get a playoff point that carries all the way through the playoffs when we begin activity there in September. 10 stage points on the line if you win. That's big not only for the regular season chase, but if you were to have a problem later in this race, it helps you overcome what could be a bad day. Austin Hill in control.
And Sheldon has done a great job. Yep. He's letting Austin Hill get out. Is he he's gonna take the run right now?
He's trying.
Oh, Austin put a little bit of block.
Here comes Jeb.
Yeah, Jeb's going to have the momentum and the shorter distance around the track right here. Sheldon pulls down to block Jeb Burton.
He's moving all over the place. This really killed the run. Austin Hill was able to block it. We'll see if anyone can generate. Nick Sanchez to the top. He's got Anthony Alfredo back there. Can they make a run?
This went from single file to chaos. Final lap, opening stage. And the green and white checkered flag delivered for Austin Hill. It's his 10th stage win on a drafting track. That's the most all time. And the 4th time he's done it here at Daytona. That's 10 consecutive stage victories at the World Center of Racing.
Unbelievable. The Speedway Savant.
For Chevrolet. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating 100 years of an American icon, the Goodyear blimp.
You ever go up in the blimp?
I've never been up in the blimp.
I have. It's terrifying.
I stick to fixed wing.
It's old. The one I was.
How about the Blue Angels?
Yeah.
You do that?
I did the Thunderbirds.
Oh, the Thunderbirds.
I'll never do that again either.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I've done one of those Red Bull Air Race.
I was
ones.
sick for 2 days.
So pit road is not yet open. Christian Eckes having some problems. Brings his Celsius Chevrolet down the pit lane.
Looks like they're working on the front splitter area.
Yeah, he's
Did
obviously
he hit
had...
the bottom of that splitter, Donald? Okay, all right. Put that tire back on. We got to get the bare bond out. Get it. No, don't worry about that bare bond.
That was Chris Rice, the team manager.
Yeah, you can see where it's detaching.
Yeah, and that splinter generates so much downforce for these cars. It's so critical.
You'll make an immense amount of drag. That will drag on the ground, which will affect you. So there's just all sorts of issues that compound when you have something like that with the front splitter.
Yeah, if that hits on entry or in the corner when the car is compressed, the front end just doesn't turn. It's like the tires aren't on the ground.
Top 5 as we anticipate pit stops. Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, Nick Sanchez, Jeb Burton, Anthony Alfredo, all getting stage points there. And now we go down to Dylan Welch on Progressive Pit Road.
And Nick Sanchez will hit his marks at the top of the screen. Said he wasn't loose, but was trending that way. Plan for them is 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment. Jeff Burton, good run for him. Finished 4th in that stage. Said we scored the points we wanted. And Sheldon Creed felt like he needed to get tightened up. But then after a couple cycles said, I'm good. 4 tires and fuel, Kim.
And you see Austin Hill in the 21 on the bottom of your screen. Stage winner there. He's going to take left side tires only. Said the car balance is really good. Would not change anything right now as they race off
Thank
pit
you,
road.
Kim. And now our Progressive race off pit road. Dean Thompson going +6. Austin Hill lost 1 in that exchange, +5 for his teammate Jesse Love. Stage 2 coming your way next on a beautiful evening in Daytona Beach. NXT is bringing the heat every Tuesday, and this Tuesday is no different. Catch an all-new WWE NXT Tuesday, 8/7 Central, right here on the CW.
You ever wrestle?
I did.
Yeah?
State champ as a kid, I'll have you know.
You played a wrestler actually one time, that's what I remember.
Did,
That's
yeah.
right.
Randy Macho Man
He did.
Savage.
He spit on me every time he talked.
Would you like a little or no?
I think we should save that. Yeah,
Skip
I think
it?
so, yeah.
That's our next on camera.
That's right.
Let's take a look at Matt DiBenedetto's Race Fit Health Report, brought to you by Breztree. I think he could have been a wrestler.
He would win. He could be it next.
I wouldn't
Anytime.
wrestle him.
They should invite him some point.
So the thing that sticks out to me on this, I love that we're doing this. If you look at that heart rate, 115 to 160. I used to check my heart rate every race. I would track it the entire race. It was almost exactly the same in the duration of cup race for 3 hours as when I would run a marathon.
Yep.
Even though you're working like some different muscles and it's a little bit different, the hydration, all of that these guys go through every race. And it's not that hot today, but we've heard guys are actually hot in the car today. So
what was it for you?
A heart rate?
Yeah.
Like between 140 and 160 would be my heart rate.
We saw a minute ago, Eckes was on pit road repairing damage. Let's go down to Kim, get the report there.
Yeah, checked in with the team. That damage came from a restart. He just got into the car in front of him too hard. And I talked with crew chief Alex Jans earlier in the day. He described Christian Eckes as very even-keeled off the track, but an animal on the track. And so I imagine he's pretty hot-headed under the helmet right now. Not the kind of Daytona he wanted to have.
Thank you, Kim. We'll continue to follow his situation. Scored 34th is Christian Eckes. By the way, right behind him, Kyle Sieg out of the race, scored 35th right now. He had a drive shaft issue. Wanted to get that out there for the Kyle Sieg fans. So let's reset as we look forward to the green flag here to begin stage 2. Justin Allgaier is the race leader. They stayed out. Of course, they had pitted under caution prior to the end of the stage. Mayer, Josh Williams, Harrison Burton, Connor Zilic, all in that same situation. So the top 5 stayed out. After that, those drivers that came down pit road, Austin Hill, Jesse Love, William Sawalich, Anthony Alfredo, Josh Bilicki in the top 10, they all came down at lap 33 once we wrap things up in that first stage. Allgaier going to the outside lane with Burton to his left. That's Harrison Burton in the 25.
Yeah, we've seen the leader choose the outside every restart. Obviously is the preferred lane. What I've got my eyes on, though, in this restart is Austin Hill and Jesse Love. They're lined up together on the outside. Seems like he's the best today, has been the best at a lot of these super speedway races. I want to see how they're able to move their way forward in the field.
And that blue and black car on the bottom, third car in the row there. Anthony Alfredo finished 5th in stage 1. Has had a really competitive start to this race. He's got a rookie in front of him and Harrison Burton, so he's got some work to cut out for him. But I feel like if he can get the moves made here, he's in a great position right now.
Hey, look outside lane. Second car, 41, Sam Mayer. Haven't talked a lot about him today. He's one of those that played strategy, pitted before when the caution came out prior to the end of the stage. He's got track position, got 4 tires at lap 22. He's someone who's never finished top 10 at Daytona.
Yeah, and I love that shot right there. He doesn't have white gloves on, but you can see it looks like he has green gloves on, and we can see his hands. And like we saw with Christian Eckes earlier, you see how hard these guys are working in the corner. The car will get loose, and you'll see them try to catch the car on exit. I think it's a great perspective for people at home watching. And it looks like Sam Mayer is actually going to get hung out right there by Josh Williams. 3 wide. This won't end well.
Josh dropped to the middle there. He saw the lane coming, saw it as an opportunity. Sheldon Creed now to his bumper. Harrison Burton goes up to block right there. And you'll do that. You'll move around and try to catch these moving lanes, the momentum they have. Josh Williams played that perfectly. Didn't really hurt Sam Mayer. He stays second on the top row, but Josh did a great job.
No, the 88 right there, though, you see on the bottom lane, that's the big loser. And this Connor Zillage was fighting for the lead, had pushed Harrison Burton out front. He didn't get in line in time, and you see he's going to fall in right in the back.
Harrison Burton, you get damaged 5 laps into the race, you play the game from a strategy standpoint, you establish track position, and here you are at the front of the field. Huge for AM Racing.
Watch Jesse Love's eyes. If you see him look out to the left, he's on the top. He's looking in his side view mirror to make sure that what just happened doesn't happen to him. You're trying to manage the left side lane and also manage outside the front. Spotter giving great information right there, Parker.
Still 3.
Oh, Sammy Smith to the bottom, Harrison Burton there in that orange and black car. What a move. Gets ahead of him and now gets to the front of that bottom line. That was pretty spectacular. Just moved Harrison Burton up out of the groove and slotted up. You won't see that often, but if you do, that's a massively big power move.
And it could be that Harrison Burton was tight, right? Kind of got pushed up off the bottom. Sammy Smith had that little bit of a run, was able to clear him. It didn't kill Harrison Burton, though. He was able to get in line right behind him. Not in a terrible position.
Cousins running together here. You got Harrison Burton in that black and gray 25. Right behind him, Jeb Burton in the Golden Corral 27.
Here's this move again. You see, yeah, Harrison was just up the racetrack a little bit. Maybe he was protecting, thinking that the run was coming closer to the top lane. Sammy Smith saw the opportunity, had the momentum, and just simply drove right on by him. That's a very unique pass. You don't usually see that. It's also the mark of a strong car. Remember, he won at Talladega late in last season. A lot of confidence in the super speedways for Sammy Smith, and you're seeing that right now. He's also got that lovely 8 font.
Looks good.
Dale Jr. PI. That's a big deal. It looks great.
Yeah, pay attention right here to Austin Hill. He's the blue car, top row, 3 cars back. Still has Jesse Love in the red 2 right behind him. They've moved up 1 row. They want to try to get this outside row moved ahead of the bottom row so that then he can make his move. With them being 2 wide like that, oh, you see he's trying to peek to the inside right now of Sam Mayer. Actually gets to his inside. Sam's going to have to work on blocking that. If you have the 21 behind you, you've got to be on your toes. That wasn't even an aggressive move. He pulled out of the line very gingerly and was able to get by him.
I can't tell you how many times Austin Hill and maybe another Chevy did that to me in the last 2 years.
You sound
because
bitter.
He does that move where he goes, everyone follows. So if you're in Sam Mayer's position, it is so frustrating because there's nothing you can do to stop that. They all decide to go with him.
Oh, he's trying to do it again.
Tight there, Harrison Burton.
This Bennett Transportation onboard camera showing us the tricks of the trade when it comes to being magnificent in the draft. Austin Hill is getting it done. And look who's leading this thing now. Jeb Burton has jumped to the front. We're going side by side at Daytona.
Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Replace.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes.
Can confirm. Very easy.
SafeLight can come to you for free. And our highly trained techs can replace your windshield right at your home.
Safe Light Repair. Safe Light Replace.
Go to SafeLight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Easy. Find a pet
friendly Italian restaurant with outdoor seating nearby. And text her to Luca.
Find it real quick. Send it to the click. Wow, the place is sick.
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we saved hundreds by bundling our home and auto insurance.
It's pronounced Biberty.
Liberty.
Biberty.
Liberty.
Nice try, kid. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty. Liberty.
You know what's crazy?
That you can get a buffet to go?
That Tony is getting a salad. And Lou should not do stand-up.
But that's like a third roll.
I'm on a roll.
That you can start with dessert.
Or how about soup?
Wait and pay, baby.
It's native.
24-hour moisturizing body wash that locks in 4 times the moisturizers of your old body wash.
Wow, and just 12 ingredients?
Heavenly. Clean moisturizing body wash isn't a myth, it's native.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Now Taxes is having a TurboTax expert who does your taxes from start to finish. While you check in anytime and get the most money back on your time. Now this is Taxes.
Hey, Tyler, think I have what it takes to be part of a NASCAR pit crew? You? Yeah, I mean, we keep Xfinity internet fast and reliable at home and on the go. It's kind of like keeping cars fast and reliable on the track.
You thought that add coolant meant driving with your sunglasses on.
That doesn't make it cooler?
What's a jack?
Don't bring him into this.
I don't know, man. I mean, you asked if we could swap gasoline once.
Okay. I shouldn't be in the pit crew. I meant driver.
Maybe just stick to what you're good at.
Beep, beep. Look out.
Xfinity is your super fast connection to NASCAR.
Welcome to the Proving Ground. Welcome to fist pumping, cylinder thumping, metal crunching.
Some big hits right there.
It's all or nothing for 26 weeks of the year.
The wait is finally over.
Welcome to the NASCAR Xfinity Series, only on the CW.
Plenty of movement at the front in this race. You saw it side by side. Hey, look who's leading once again.
Shocking.
Austin Hill wins the opening stage. Little pit strategy cycled him back. He's led 28 circuits today. And behind him, great day for Ryan Sieg and some other drivers in the top 10 that I'm not sure how they've gotten there. I mean, we talk about Connor Zilich damaged in the 88. Ryan Truex from deep in the field has worked his way to the top 5. Attaboy for Justin Bonsignor. A lot of changing parts when you look at the top 10, and Allgaier trying to get back in it outside of Leland Honeyman.
Yeah, Parker, it's interesting. The race at the beginning was everybody going to the top.
Yep.
Now everybody has transitioned to the bottom. It almost makes me think they just want to follow the 21 car.
It's basically what it is, and that's what I was trying to point out before. You can always follow the 21. This is a great example of it here, as we saw when you were watching during the break. Watch the 21, that blue and white car behind the 8, the orange and black car. Austin does this all the time. He's going to try and shoot to the bottom. Sammy Smith covers him, does that well. That gives him a boost up by the 27. But that put Austin Hill in the position of being the lead car on the bottom, and eventually he got to the lead. And those aggressive moves, you mentioned the pit strategy maybe helped him get some of that back, but really he did that. And he made some of these moves just by himself, and everyone followed him, which then just makes it easier.
And if you're in Sammy Smith's position right there, you have to see that coming. You can't rely on your spotter at that moment. That move happens so fast, by the time the spotter keys the radio and says he's looking, the pass is made.
You remember when Jimmy Johnson was on that run of 5 consecutive championships, and everyone said the most difficult thing of competing with him is you got one eye on the 48 and one eye on your car. Your attention's not where it needs to be. I feel like when you're racing with Austin Hill, it's like that because you're worried about him and maybe not totally about yourself.
And to that point, he does great things. He has a fast car. But when everyone then has that group mentality, that group think of, I want to follow that car. I want to go where he goes. He knows how to do this best, that sort of thing. It almost like sort of manifests destiny. He manifests these moves because everyone follows him. And that's what just puts him in these positions. And then he gets to command the field. And Dylan, you have more on Ryan Sieg?
Yeah, he's having a great run so far, one of the smaller teams, but somebody that always runs up front at these super speedway races. And talked with crew chief Matt Noyce earlier today just about some of the changes going on behind the scenes with this car and this team. He said despite some of those changes, the core of this car is still the same. By that he means Ryan Sieg, the driver, Matt himself as the crew chief, and Tim Fiedel, the spotter, who spots for Ryan Blaney on Sundays. That relationship, the spotter-driver relationship, ultimately is so important here. And Matt Noyce said Ryan is so good here because he makes smart decisions based on the energy of the pack. But having a good spotter relationship helps that. If it goes well tonight, it's because of that relationship, and it's going well so far, Carla.
Yeah, we know there's not much carryover from the Truck Series to Xfinity Series, but one thing Nick Sanchez said is that he's looking forward to the length of these races. He said, I always felt like I was peaking at the end of the truck races and just needed some more laps. We'll see if that comes into play tonight. He ended stage 1 in 3rd, and guess what? He's right back up there again, guys.
And you know what that equals, Carla? Stage points, which really helps as you try to make your way into the postseason later this year. 10 laps to go. Stage 2, Hill leading at Daytona.
Big.
Small. Essential.
Big. Small. Essential.
Big. Small.
Essential.
Grande.
Pequeño.
Esencial. No matter what business you're in, Verizon Business has the network and solutions you need to power it.
And my Progressive rep was super helpful.
Tom Hayes is passive-progressive.
The way Kevin says he always has to help you.
Tom doesn't have Progressive, so he takes it out on those who do.
If you switch, you can save hundreds.
Well, that's great. You could buy more of that cologne we all love.
Huh. Progressive called me back about the claim I filed.
Support when you need it. I wonder what that's like, huh?
In my office. Now, Tom!
Don't be passive-progressive.
This is bad, right?
Switch to get good coverage and savings for yourself.
What if you could have shades like these for a fraction of big brand prices? With Shady Rays, you can. We're an independent company, so we do things differently. We offer high-quality polarized shades for a reasonable price. And we personally replace shades that get lost or broken. So far, we've racked up over 300,000 five-star reviews. I founded Shady Rays so that we could have sunglasses that stand up to whatever life throws at us. Order now and get 20% off site-wide at shadyrays.com.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
You know what's crazy?
That you can get a buffet to go?
That Tony is getting a salad. And Lou should not do stand-up.
But that's like his 3rd roll.
I'm on a roll.
That you can start with dessert.
Or how about soup?
Wait and pay, baby.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But at least you can go to SafeLight.com and schedule a fix in minutes. Go to SafeLight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
Sorry, bud. Not while I weed. Hey! Who let the dogs out?
Spruce, a new weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets.
Does it actually work?
Visible results in 1 hour and dead weeds in 1 day.
Spruce works.
Spruce, the new, hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer.
Welcome to Martinsville. Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. Far from it. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR weekend at Martinsville Speedway. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
If you missed out on the Double the Thrill sweepstakes, you're in luck. You can now enter the CW's Epic Sweeps for your chance to win an unforgettable trip to Universal Orlando Resort and the new Universal Epic Universe Park, opening May 22nd, 2025. Scan the QR code or visit the CWSweeps.com now to enter. Closing on the end of our second stage. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway with Parker Kligerman, Jamie McMurray. I'm Adam Alexander. It continues to be the Austin Hill Show.
Yeah, and Parker about to pick up. Just like at the end of stage one, they've all migrated to the top. Austin Hill's leading. And we talked about earlier, you need to figure out, like it's the end of the race, how am I going to get to the front? I just saw Sheldon Creed right there on the bottom in the blue and pink car. He's tired of following. He's going to see if he can get the second lane, the 00, to move forward.
Taylor Gray tried to follow him there. Now he's giving up on it maybe, but this is what we're going to see is who's willing to drop down. Speaking of dropping down on the bottom there, most laps led on drafting tracks in Xfinity Series history. Austin Hill's getting up there.
This really puts in perspective how good he is at this style of racing.
Yeah.
Most likely, unless something crazy happens, he's going to go to number 2 on the list and jump in front of Dale Jr.
Yeah, and the guy that you see second on the list, Dale Jr., I lived the era that Dale Jr. won every plate race that we went through, super speedway race, and everybody did the same thing they're doing with Austin Hill. It was annoying. You're like, stop following him. He's the fastest car. But what makes this so powerful is that it's pretty rare that you get one of the best drivers to also have the best car. And Austin Hill's one of the best drivers, and he's in one of the fastest cars, and he's able to capitalize on it.
We just saw Justin Allgaier and Nick Sanchez drop to the bottom. They're trying to get rid of Ryan Sieg and Austin Hill to force them and just be in a position they don't want to be. Get that run moving. Here comes Jeb Burton to the bottom with a big run.
Jeb Burton's had a great day. 4th in the opening stage, and here he is again, putting himself in position. Going to be 3 laps to go, stage 2 this time around.
Yeah, and Austin Hill's going to have his hands a little bit busier right here than it was at the end of stage 1. We've already got this bottom line forming. 48 could maybe pull down and try to get in front of Jeb Burton as they go into turn 1. When you go to the bottom, the distance is so much shorter that you make up some ground temporarily, but then you lose it with the momentum on the exit of the corner. Look at how loose the 48 car was right there on the entry.
They're all moving around a ton. These cars are wiggling all over the place. They're driving really hard right now throughout the field. They're sliding around and moving around on the exit of the corners. You just see each car is not handling the way they want.
Yeah, this is out of the back of Austin Hill to number 21. Looks like there could be some fluid, some oil, maybe some water coming out of the back of that car. We'll have to see if there's any issues with him.
That's one way to keep the competition away. Just oil slick everywhere.
Oil slick, absolutely.
Just wreck the field behind you, right?
See, Ryan Sieg's it's a little bit different. We saw Sheldon Creed backing up and trying to generate a run. I don't see that same thing happening from Ryan Sieg. See if he can generate a run. Creed's not going to be content here. He's going to pull out a line once he can generate a little bit of a run. Or as you see on the bottom, the blue car, the number is it 26?
Thompson.
26
yeah,
Thompson,
if he can get a little bit of a run, Creed might pull that. You want to time that out so you have a little bit of momentum. You can see they're all kind of checking up right there as the draft is working.
Toyota's trying to mount a charge in that low lane.
Oh!
And there goes Nick Sanchez. 48 into the wall.
Very similar to what we saw in the first race. As they're checking up, you can see all. I was just going to say, like, every time you see a car squirm, it's because there's a little bit of impact from behind. Creed got into him just a little bit too hard and got him turned into the fence.
And to your point, what they were all trying to do is sort of control the run there and be able to drop down and create that run that they wanted as the bottom lane was forming. And so there was a lot of bumper tag happening. It just happened in the worst place where these cars are the hardest to drive is the entry of the corners and the tri-oval. They're the lightest. They're just out of the racetrack a little bit. And Sheldon just got back into the back of Nick Sanchez in a way that he couldn't control it.
The Whelen caution lights are on. Whelen, the official warning lights of NASCAR and America's most trusted manufacturer of emergency lights and sirens. Another rookie with damage in this race. They have felt the effects here today. It's caution number 4 of the afternoon.
Yeah, we'll take another look at this right here. You see that Sheldon Creed in the 00 pink and blue car. He's going to get into the back of the 48 orange car right in front of him. And it's not that much contact, but as Parker said, you're vulnerable right there. You really want to get into somebody just on the exit of the corner and then generate that push all the way down the straightaway. Hitting him on the edge of the corner, just not good. But he maybe was getting a little bit too much of a push from just Allgaier right there who was behind him.
Just creating the runs, and you just want to keep pushing right here. And it's also sort of the angle you hit. If you hit them a little bit too far to the left, that upsets the car. And right at that point, at the entry of the corner, it's just the toughest. I did the same to Austin Hill at Talladega at the end of last year. Spun him out without barely even touching him because the cars are so light at that point of time. And this is just a mistimed bump draft that you just, you know, it happens in this racing because you're pushing. You're being aggressive. You want to make the moves and create the momentum, but the risk of that is what we see here.
Yeah, it's just such a great example of how light the back of the car is on entry. It's hard to explain. That's why you see them swatting the steering wheel back and forth on the entry of the corner. It just doesn't take much to get them around.
Stage 2, going to end under caution. Get out the broom, the sweep today for Austin Hill, who's going for his 4th consecutive victory at Daytona in a season opener. Sieg, Creed, Allgaier, Thompson, your top 5 at the end of the 2nd stage, and here is what brought out the yellow. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Golden Corral. Golden Corral honors our nation's heroes. And by Liberty Mutual. Only pay for what you need. First 2 stages in the books here at the World Center of Racing. Austin Hill wins them both. First under green, 2nd under caution. The pit lane is open, and here come the front runners down Progressive Pit Road. Dylan?
Ryan Sieg peels off right there, finished 2nd, stage 2. Has been fast, but the balance still needs some help. They'll change right side tires and take air out of the right front. Sheldon Creed 2nd from the top, said good if I can get some help. Also asked for a little bit of tape on the nose, right side tires and fuel, Cam.
You see Justin Allgaier in that red 7 Chevrolet. The plan to take right side tires only. He said it's very stable. Car is good. Just a slight air pressure adjustment as fuel goes into. Austin Hill in that blue and white 21 at the bottom. They'll only take 2 tires. Austin said it is tight, especially off 4, but he's scared to mess with it because it was moving so good through traffic. Minimal changes. He did note there was a weird smell that happened 2 laps before the end of the stage. We saw that fluid on the camera. Nothing else from Austin. We'll keep up to breast on if there's any issues with the gear or something else.
That 21 team, one of the best last year on pit road, and no surprise that Austin Hill wins the race off Progressive Pit Road here again. 21 is strong. How close is that as Creed makes the exit? Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, taking innovation to new heights for a century. Happy 100th to the Goodyear blimp. Pictures have been outstanding tonight from here at the World Center of Racing. As we look forward to the restart in our final stage, let's get an update on our race leader. Here's Kim.
Yeah, as we documented that stop, we touched on it briefly, but let's reiterate. You guys saw that camera shot where we were seeing fluid off the back of the 21 car of Austin Hill. The team has that footage too. They have not said anything to Austin on the radio. Austin came on the radio during the caution, during this stop, and said, I smelt something weird about 2 laps ago when we were seeing that shot of the fluid on the camera. The team really didn't have any reaction to that. I've checked in with them. They have not confirmed or denied anything. I asked maybe if there's an axle seal loose. No confirmation or denial on what exactly that is the issue with the 21 of Austin Hill.
Mum is the word. No confirmation
no good,
or denial.
Nothing good will come from telling him.
It's time for the race break. Brought to you by Safelite, the auto glass experts. 21's been the story of the night.
Yeah, but
just compare the front tire to the rear tire. You see how dull the front tire is. If you look at the rear tire, looks like it's been the detail shop. And that's because there's axle crease leaking out of that hub right there. It actually looks worse to me. The fact that you see all that on the inside, Parker, there's a chance it could go the whole race. But there's also a chance it might not go the whole race.
Kim was a great investigative reporter for us there. I think she did a great job, but that tire told a major story as well right there, showing that grease on it. We'll see. Where there's smoke, there's fire in these cars. When they start to lose fluids, you only have a short amount of time that they can last at times before that becomes a big problem.
Getting ready for the restart to begin this final stage. Austin Hill's led the most laps, swept the stages. 46 out front for him. Sheldon Creed's been great there all night. Taylor Gray's solid. Allgaier's going to restart in the top 5. And give some love to Sam Hunt Racing. Ryan Truex is 6th. Dean Thompson is 7th. You saw the onboard there a moment ago. Garrett Smithley in the 14. Back to the green flag here at Daytona.
And you know what, guys? We haven't talked a lot about Taylor Gray. Every restart, you see him in the top 4. He has done a tremendous job to be able to run up front with these guys all night long.
But what did you guys say earlier? Get the education out of the way in stage 1 and stage 2. He's been in a position to do that.
And he's got a great teacher right behind him there in that black and green car. That's Ryan Truex. Put on a clinic on everyone here at Daytona in the summer last year. He's a great super speedway racer. Wants to get Sam Hunt racing their first win, and he's in great position here as we get in this third stage. He's just methodically moved himself towards the front. He knows those Joe Gibbs racing cars really well, and I think he's got a fast Toyota as well.
Yeah, and we still have a lot of racing left, but I really like those top 4 in the outside row. You see the blue car, 21 Austin Hill. We've seen him win both stages. Behind him, Sheldon Creed, then Justin Allgaier, then Jesse Love, who we know has a fast car as well. Really like those 4 guys being lined up. We'll see if they can clear everyone on the bottom.
And they may have a little bit of history, Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed, but it was early in the race. Kim let us know that Austin felt like Sheldon was a great pusher. But then he spun out the 48, so I wonder if he still thinks that way.
What's going to be interesting, guys, is we know that Austin Hill is leaking a little bit of oil. We saw that tire. Is that covering Sheldon Creed's windshield right now? Will he be able to see? That is really frustrating. I hated that when the windshield got dirty, because once oil gets on that, any dust or sand that we have down here, it sticks to it, and it makes it really hard to see out of.
3/4 off 00. Half off, 7 pushing 00 back up to you. Half off of your bumper. 0072, straight line with you. Bottom lane 10 back.
I love that information, because I can normally know the car that's right behind me, but I want to know who else is lined up. Is it my teammate that's 2 back? If he pulls out, is my teammate going to go with me? Is it someone that I've worked with in the race earlier that I can depend on? Or is it someone that doesn't like me, that I simply am not going to be able to depend on? That is great information that Austin Hill's getting from his spotters. Sheldon Creed has had enough. I'm going to the front.
00, brand new team this year for Sheldon Creed. Goes over to the Haas factory team, and he's side by side with his old teammate Austin Hill. The 21 has dominated this race, but the Fords have had enough. Creed getting a push from Ryan Sieg in the bottom lane.
Oh, they're starting to get a little bit aggressive right now. Everybody's wanting to get in the front. So look at Austin Hill's hands on the top. Look at how loose he is when Justin Allgaier is starting to push him through the tri-oval. Worst place on the track you can get pushed is in that tri-oval.
Absolutely the worst spot. It's just so hard to control the rear of the race car. As you bump, you can get huge runs, but it's just so dangerous to do, especially 52 laps ago.
Yeah, and watching Sheldon Creed on the bottom, he wanted to slide up in front of Austin Hill right there, so he could maybe get up and try to manage this race and control. Oh, look at how loose he's getting. Ryan Sieg in the 39 pushing Sheldon Creed. They're starting to get really aggressive, Parker.
And that takes 2 right there. When you see a car whipping around like that, when they're really pushing each other out, that's not just Ryan Sieg who's making that issue happen. That's also what Sheldon Creed is doing in that race car. How's he connecting to him? What's he doing with the wheel once he gets bumped? Those things add up. So it's both of you are in that situation together. It's not just on Ryan Sieg that you saw Sheldon Creed's car moving around.
Yeah, and Creed had a big decision right there. Who do I want to block? Because both of those lanes are going to have a run. Who do I think is going to stick with me? I'm shocked that he went to the top only because Ryan Sieg got him to the front. Seemed like he was loyal, but Creed now on top has control of the race.
And look who's crept back in here into the top 4 on that bottom row. The dog, Jeff Burton, he's sniffing the front once again. He wants it up there. He has done a great job, that 27 car, consistently, even when he's gotten shuffled out, finds his way back to the front right now in a great position on the bottom.
Sheldon Creed, 13 career runner-up finishes, including last year right here at Daytona. Is today his day for career victory number 1?
Easy. Find a pet-friendly Italian restaurant with outdoor seating nearby and text it to Luca.
Find it real quick. Send it to the click. This is sick.
Safe Flight Repair. Perfecting your swing is hard.
Nice shot, Dad. Safe Flight Replace.
But replacing your windshield doesn't have to be. Go to safelight.com and we can come to you.
Sick.
Our highly trained techs can replace your windshield where you are, even if that's right in your driveway.
Have a good day. I love you.
SafeLight makes it easy. Go to safelight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Safe Flight Repair. Safe Flight Replace.
Woo! You know what's crazy?
Is that you can get a buffet to go?
That Tony is getting a salad. And Lou should not do stand-up.
But that's like his 3rd roll.
I'm on a roll.
That you can start with dessert.
Or how about soup?
Wait and pay, baby.
Ready for liftoff? You will be. With Blue Chew, your confidence takes flight. It's not just a boost, it's a whole new attitude. Blue Chew, it's out of this world.
If you're sharing a hotel room with friends, you're also sharing a bathroom and a mirror, a tiny hairdryer, and an outlet and a tiny counter. Get an Airbnb and get more space.
Is that my bestie in a taxi? Fresh blowout, skin on town, she red. And my best friend, she a real bad, got her own money. She don't need no on the dance floor.
Hey, Brent, if you had to choose, would you watch paint dry or compare benefits plan?
Compare benefits. Gusto makes it easier to find the right plan for my team.
I think I'm gonna need new glasses.
No problem. You're covered.
Choose benefits without the mess. That's working with Gusto.
Forgetting something?
Curry?
The other thing.
Spicy curry.
A Turo tires. A longer tread life, all season, and great looking.
I'll add it to the list.
Affordable all-season tires with great handling and longer tread life. A Turo puts performance within reach.
Get in on buy 1 foot-long, get one free right now in the Subway app. That's right, buy 1 foot-long sub, get another free. Deals this good usually come with a 2-year contract. Grab the deal online or in-app with code FLBOGO, only for a limited time.
What is that? I know that music. Ah!
Guys, you gotta see this.
One of 5 immersive worlds in Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
Closed captioning for this race brought to you by Tableau TV. Pay once, watch forever. Next time around, it'll be 45 laps to go for the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the season opener at Daytona. And we're closing in on a cycle of green flag pit stops. Once the window opens, you come down, get your service so you can maintain track position should the caution come out.
Ooh, look at that on the right, guys. You can see just a little bit of smoke. That means that issue is continuing to get worse. That's getting on the exhaust, getting on some components. Starting to get a little bit worried about the 21
Could
right
be
now.
burning up as well in there, and it's just getting hotter and hotter, so that's an issue. We said earlier, where there's smoke, there's fire. This is literally smoke right now.
And what I would be scared of right here is if something breaks and he's leading the pack, does it cause a big wreck? I'd be scared to be behind him right now,
And
guys.
I think we have radio from Justin Allgaier describing this exact thing with the 21.
My windshield is covered. It's like, can't see anything. That's close to 21. That's why I'm telling you to get off. 21's leaking.
Yeah, once I heard it was from the 21, it would get way worse. I'd get him off of here. He needs to go to the pits, work on his car. I don't want him out here on the track.
It's one way to beat him. That's right. It's out of the race.
Yes.
A lot on the line for Austin Hill. A win today would be 4 consecutive in the season opener. And he would tie Dale Earnhardt and Tony Stewart for the most drafting wins all time. He's fighting it out front. We'll see how long he can stay in the game. Let's go to the Care Center. Here's Carla.
Yeah, guys, what a run for Nick Sanchez. He was in 3rd when he got involved in that last incident, but you said it did not feel like a square push.
Yeah, I feel like the 0-0 might have been a little off of me, but I'd need to see a replay to see what really happened. But yeah, it's unfortunate for our whole Big Machine Vodka Spike Cooler Chevrolet. I think it was as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and yeah, it's really a shame. I don't know, what is it, lap 76 of 120 laps, and we're not there at the end. It sucks. But, yeah, thankful for Scott Bruschetta, Patrick Donahue, and we'll rebound for Atlanta.
All right, they tried to make repairs on pit road, but just too much damage, guys.
Good news is he did get some stage points in stage 1. That will help minimize the issues of his day.
I think we see Austin Hill migrating to the bottom because he wants to get in the right position to make that pit stop. He's tried as hard as he can to save as much fuel as he can. He's been able to lead this race. They want to make that pit stop when they pit as short as possible.
That right rear wheel is getting shiny again. You can literally see it on the 21 as we go to some of those outside shots. And that's a bad place for Sheldon Creed to be. If you've heard Justin Allgaier say it's bad, I've even seen a little bit of stuff on here on Jeff Burton.
It's not terrible, though.
It's not terrible, but it's still not, it's bad. And he's 2 cars back right now. We got another car smoking back there. It looks like
Lane Perkins. Lane Perkins changing teams in the offseason. Going over to drive for Jordan Anderson Racing, but big time smoke from the 31. Anytime you see that in the draft, it creates anxiety, makes you nervous. They bypass pit road one more time. Going to be 42 laps to go.
Yeah, and that's probably not an engine. I would think that's like a rear end or a power steering pump or something, because you see the smoke coming out, but he's not aborting right now. And it doesn't look like it's a tire rub. It's not necessarily worse in the corners. It looks like he is trying to get out of the way right now. Maybe he is feeling something.
Starting to see it in the cockpit probably right there. You know, one of the things that can happen in these sort of super speedway races, you run in that draft, you got to pay attention to those temperatures. You can quickly overheat these engines when you run back there. You don't get any air to the engine. You stick behind the car in front of you. You lose track of time. You look down and you're 300 degrees on the water temp, and the oil is spiking, and that's a really bad moment. If you've gone that far, sometimes it's toast in the engine.
Yep. Coming to 41 to go. Leaders stay out. They won't pit this time. The other thing I notice, you know, it's not just about getting yourself in that bottom lane and putting yourself in a position to be able to pit. You have to have drafting partners that pit with you. And Austin Hill's teammate is in that outside lane talking about Jesse Love. So how will they manage this? Here's some 21 radio.
I have my own ton of issues with smoke in the cockpit. It smells really bad in here, like a rear end or something just burning up.
And that's a very distinct smell. When you smell rear end grease, it's just a really acidic smell that you have in the race car. It's different than just normal oil, that sort of thing. So he can definitely pay attention to what's happening there. You use all your senses in a race car, your smells, your sounds, all those things add up. And Kim, you have more?
Yeah, you guys heard him talk about the smoke in the cockpit, the smell being really bad. He said his gauges are all fine, though. Crew Chief Chad Haney came on the radio and said, ignore it the best you can. We're going to just run it out with 40 laps to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, and Kim, he's telling him to ignore it because they know that there's oil all over the tires. And as Parker said, rear end grease, nothing stinks as bad as burnt rear end grease. So you know that smell as a driver. Everybody at some point in this field has lost a rear gear. There's a chance, though, if that's leaking, the smoke could be coming from if it's slinging it up and getting it on the exhaust or just getting on the hot parts that you see. Because it looks like we're going to have some pit stops right here. Allgaier really locks up that left front. Is that going to affect what they decide to do? I would think it's fuel only, but if you slide that left front too far, Parker, you're going to have to put tires on.
And that's a determination he has to make coming down pit road to tell the team, hey, I've locked up a tire. It's too bad. It's got a vibration. We've got to change that. This is all the Chevys coming down pit road, Kim.
Yeah, and as you see that red Chevrolet peeling off, that's the brand Chevrolet of Justin Allgaier. He reported it was tighter this run. You see them taking those right side tires, filling it full of fuel. Austin Hill in too. We have documented his issues, smoke in the cockpit, a weird smell. He also said he was getting a really bad vibration. Feels like the car is maybe on the verge of breaking as he is sitting on pit road. They're trying to fill it up full of fuel and maybe diagnose what's happening underneath there. You saw the crewman under the right rear of that car.
These are scheduled green flag pit stops. Ryan Sieg had cycled to the front, and the 39 stays in the lead here and stays on track. He does not pit. He's got the Ford of Sheldon Creed behind him as more Chevrolets make pit stops under green, leading the way here, the 8 of Sammy Smith.
Yeah, and a great job by Sammy Smith today. I talked to crew chief Philip Bell. He said that win at Talladega last fall gave him so much more confidence to make the big moves here. This is exactly how they planned. It's going to be fuel only as he is down and away.
For Patrick Emmerling. And the 14 of Garrett Smithley, and that last time around, the 7 of Justin Allgaier also had an issue on their pit stop.
Yeah, it looked like Garrett Smithley actually went long there and was in Patrick's pit stall, and it just blocked him out.
I think he's driven the 07 before, and he actually went to the 07 pit box. Yeah. He was able to back up, and it really hurt Patrick Emmerling.
Well, guys, based on that sequence, we saw the 21 having those issues. It has now opened this race up. Austin Hill has led 56 laps. It's now open to the rest of the field.
And there he sits. Right of your screen, on board with Garrett Smithley. It's the Hire Heroes USA onboard camera.
Yeah, NASCAR's probably telling them they can't go out till they get this oil leak fixed so it doesn't cause an accident, oil the track down. Obviously, it's not a small leak. It's continued to get worse, and that's so frustrating for that driver you see right there.
You still have smoke building in the cockpit like that. That's just continually adding to the issue, and you know that's an issue that's not going to go away easily.
And as you're looking at Justin Allgaier, they had a disastrous pit stop when they came in. It looked like they had all kinds of issues, and this right here is for him to stay on the lead lap. Let's take a look actually at what the 7 car fought. It looks like it's on the left side. The right side was okay. Yeah, oh, he just
stalled it.
It was actually a 17-second pit stop. I think there was probably some issues that happened on the right side as well.
Well, and I also believe he probably lost some of the people he was with who just did fuel only. Obviously, the 21 sat on
One
pit
of them
road who
still
came
on pit
down
road,
with him.
yeah.
So he lost all that help and just doesn't have any drafting help, and you're going to get swallowed up by all these cars that have chosen to stay out there. And you saw 2 waves of Chevys, but we still have some Chevys that stayed out there. Jeb Burton, the 27, and Jesse Love in the 2 car there who chose to stay on track and now mixed in with these Fords.
You know, Jesse Love just couldn't get down in that bottom lane to pit with his teammate in those other Chevrolets. It may end up working out for the 2 car. As we watch Garrett Smithley make his pit stop.
Yeah, he literally.
Yeah,
he did
went to the
exactly what he
07
said.
box.
He drove
He parked
to the
it perfectly
wrong
there.
pit stall. Yeah, stopped right where he needed to be.
Those are teammates. You hate that.
But it's so big under green to have that mistake. You're going to lose a draft. You might even lose the lap if it stays green long enough because you're not running the same speed as the guys in the draft. That's so frustrating.
And defend Garrett Smith a little bit. That is easy to do when you've jumped around teams.
Yeah.
You've jumped to different numbers. You jumped ride to ride to ride, and finally you're in this great opportunity, full season, the 14. But he's driven the 07 before. He's been in other numbers, and he probably just had that Freudian moment of just going down there and thinking, oh, that's my pit box, that's my pit sign, and it wasn't.
So if you're in this race, you come into the day saying, I've got to beat to 21. Now Austin Hill is out. Do you reset a little bit, or does that change your thought process as we hit the latter stages?
Well, sure you do. Yeah, I mean, this guy's not just dominated today. He's been the best athlete. He's won the last 3 races in February here at Daytona. Knowing that he's out of this, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It opens up. You see Jesse Love right there in the red 2 has his hand out the window. That means he's pitting this time. That's his signal to Harrison Burton right behind him. Sam Mayer, Justin Bonsignor, that he's going to pit right here. It'll be interesting to see if all these guys come down together. I would get nervous with that many at one time because you lose a little bit of time getting on pit road when everyone's trying to get slowed down.
It's incredibly slick as we see them all coming now. It's really tough to get slowed up and not lock up those tires, but they all do a great job.
Yeah, Sam Mayer did an exceptional job right there digging down to pit road on the outside.
Dylan.
And it was big for Ryan Segan, that first pit box, as we got a crash in the infield. Big for Segan to get all the way to the left, being that first pit box, so nobody came to the inside of him as he tried to pull into his marks. Sheldon Creed in as well, fuel only
and as
for
we
him.
can see on our screen, everybody coming to pit road, this is when you run the risk of problems. We get our 5th caution of the day. Chris Wright involved, saw the 91 of Josh Bilicki also sliding through the grass.
21's pulled back out of the pits here, although many laps down.
5 laps down.
There. What happened here on this green flag stops is the majority of what we saw there that came down pit road did fine, but at the back of that group, it looked like Chris Wright and Josh Bilicki got together in some fashion, and it's just, it is so difficult to pit here after you've been going 190 miles an hour for hours. You look back at this replay. That's the 5 car. Yeah, the blue and white. Oh, he is going way too fast.
Not even close. Like, not even close to hitting this braking. I don't know how he could have missed it by that far. That's unbelievable.
You know, pit road speed is 55 miles an hour. I mean, he's going double that.
You got to feel so bad for Bilicki too, because he's going pit road speed,
and he caught a little bit of Ryan Truex, that right rear fender.
Yeah,
so
look at that damage.
Damage control on that as well, and that's not missing your braking point. That is just completely missing.
Maybe he lost brakes. Like, you don't know. Maybe he got on the brakes there. It looks like he had no brakes.
There was like nothing happening.
Yeah, maybe he just had no control over his car.
Because that Sunoco sign off turn 4. That's a great reference for people as you come off of turn 4. You use that and start to encroach on the.
It's weird. I can see the brakes locked up if you look at the top of the screen. So it's maybe he lost like just rear brakes, and that's the front's locked up.
And you don't hit that pedal that hard until you come down pit road. Oh yeah, he's just got.
No, it looked like he just misjudged that. Man.
And you don't get to. It's great to see him get out here, but you don't get to do that until you do the green flag stop. And so your references are so tough.
They got practice yesterday. That's one thing that you do in practice.
But I find it different in the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
I do find it different in the draft. You add that extra mile per hour. You see Austin Hill going behind the wall here. Man, it was looking like he could continue to set new records.
Yeah.
There's nothing he did here that took that away from him.
With those drivers making pit stops, Justin Allgaier got back on the lead lap. He had gone a lap down, of course, when they had the big pit issue, but he's back in the game. And this caution will no doubt help him when we tighten the field up. Let's get some Josh Bilicki radio from the 91.
We got Chris Wright. Nothing I can tell you, man. He had a beeline on you and never even checked up.
Yeah, we had a awesome slowdown. I thought we were going to pass a couple cars there. Doesn't feel like anything up, but that was a hard hit.
No doubt that he's frustrated, but I think we got to hear from Chris Wright to see if there was an issue on his car. He's frustrated because it's messed his race up.
How about it, Kim?
Yeah, Chris Wright had no brakes during that incident, was the report on the radio.
And that makes sense. But the speed he
I'm
was
glad
carrying,
he had no brakes.
Yeah, because the speed he was carrying was just, it's past missing your braking point. He was going double the speed you'd be going at that point.
Yeah,
and Honeyman Jr. here stopped, I believe, on the backstretch.
Caution out for the 5th time today. It happens in a cycle of green flag pit stops. Chris Wright losing his brakes. Big crash with Josh Bilicki. Back to Daytona in a moment. The fans have spoken. Congratulations, Glenn Zabransky. You're the winner of a $500 Fanatics gift card to further fuel your NASCAR fan cave. This is an awesome setup.
Glenn has it going on. I'm going to say Dale Jr. fan, but I see a little bit of Elliott Sadler up there. I see some Indy cars. I see a drag racing car. Yeah.
F1 car. This is a
Nice
motorsports
work.
fan.
Some
not just
helmets.
NASCAR.
Yeah, I love it.
Stuff.
Tire table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Always wanted one of those.
You think they have one of those candles that smells like gasoline, like burnt rubber?
Yeah.
Hey, Glenn, we'll be over tomorrow for the 500, okay? Jeb Burton made a pit stop. Let's get a word with Austin Hill. Kim?
Yeah, Austin Hill off the racetrack right now. We heard smoke in the cockpit. We heard the weird smell. You said the rear gear was junk. What's the final diagnosis?
Well, I'm still waiting on the final verdict. It's either a rear hub or gear or a combination of both. Such a bummer. We had such a fast Bennett Chevrolet. It was as fast as Xfinity Mobile. Everybody at RCR, ECR have done a great job building this race car. We showed that we were the dominant team again. Was able to get the stage wins there. So I just wish that we could have lost this race on our own terms and it not be from a mechanical failure. I'd almost rather get turned on the backstretch on the white flag lap and end up on my lid than end it like this. So yeah, this one's going to sting a little bit, but we have Atlanta next week. I feel like we're going to be good all year long in 2025. So I feel really, really good about this Bennett Chevrolet team. Can't say enough about all the guys. I want everyone behind me to, keep their head up. I know everyone's beating themselves right now, but these things happen. This is why it's so hard to win in this level. You have mechanical failures. You have other things that happen on the racetrack with other drivers, and you might get in a wreck that wasn't your doing. So for us to win 3 in a row like we did, it showed the testament to everybody at RCR, and these things are going to happen. So like I said, I want everyone in this 21 team to hold their head up. We're just going to come back stronger in Atlanta and show them how it's done.
I know not the night you wanted. What do you think about the racing, though, and some of the pushes you were getting to give and get?
Yeah, I think that the greatest thing about it is we can make our car better. Our car's already extremely fast, but I think our Chevrolet can be better. It can be better at sucking up. It can be better at breaking through the bubble. It seemed like when the 7 was in front of me, it was really hard to break through that buffer and that wall of air that we always talk about. But then when I was leading, it seemed really, really good. I almost thought my car was too good at times because I could get 2 or 3 car lengths out, and I am like off the throttle. I'm on the brake pedal, and I'm trying not to get too far away. So that was actually the toughest part about leading the line, is I could just get too far out too quickly at times. So like I said, it just goes to show the testament of this RCR organization. Everybody at ECR, big power behind our engines, and I'm ready for a fun year.
Thanks, Austin.
Yeah, thank you.
Seems like they left some stuff on the table. We'll see them back at Atlanta, where that search for the 8th drafting track win for Austin will continue.
That's a great point, Kim, and I thought the same thing. What a leader. I mean, that guy gets out, had this great day. You can tell he's a little frustrated, but he's talking about what his team needs to do, how they're going to recover from that. You see his owner, Richard Childress, right there. He also talked about he led the most laps of anyone ever in a Daytona race today. And what did he say? He's like, we got to get better. That's what you have to do in this sport. You always have to try to get your car better, no matter how good you are.
I sat in those competition meetings with him last year, and that was always his critique of these race cars, was the way, even when he was on a streak of winning at these super speedways, he felt the cars could be better and pushed everyone in the organization at RCR to make the cars faster, to find the ways to make them break the bubble better. And he mentioned lifting off and braking when he's in the lead. That is classic Austin Hill. He controls the front by doing that, but it takes fast race cars that he knows he has, and even though they can be better, and there's always the improvement. It's constant improvement in this game because it's always changing, it's always evolving. Even when you've been as dominant as them, you've got to continue pushing.
Austin Hill out of the race, the new man in charge, Sheldon Creed. Let's go to Dylan.
Well, he's finished second 13 times. That's been well documented, including in this race last year. This was crew chief Jonathan Toney's message with 27 to go.
The objective all the time is to put our man in a place that he can go win us a race. Might as well go ahead and break the ice here tonight and get you a win.
Yeah, it'd be a good night to do it. I'll do my best here to keep her up here in the wind.
They've been up front all day by design, and I'm really curious here. Sheldon talked to me before the race about how aggressive he was going to be taking runs. He watched and learned from Austin Hill. Now that the 21's gone, how aggressive is Creed going to be to try to stay at the front of the field?
Great question, Dylan. And actually talking to Sheldon this morning about this, I said, hey, you know, where's that wind going to come? He said it absolutely could be here today. He's so calm, though. He's such a calm race car driver. When you hear on the radio, that's him all the time. His demeanor is like that. But, you know, he's been in this position so many times. I feel like at this point, it's second nature. In these super speedways, he's always at the front. He's always in the top 5. He's always lurking there. And Dylan, you said it. Now he's kind of been the second best car. He has control of this now. Don't relinquish it.
He's also always aggressive. He doesn't need anyone to tell him to be more aggressive. He's always aggressive. And it's interesting to see both he and Sam Mayer first year over here at the Haas factory team. You see them 1 and 2. I would tell my driver right now, if I was in the car and I was thinking to take a deep breath. Okay, there is still a lot of time left in this race. You know, we have 27 laps to go. That's a long time at a place like Daytona. Make sure we get to the end.
You like that when they say that?
I'm telling you, I would want to remind myself of that.
Okay, because I can't stand when they tell me that.
Yeah.
I can't stand when a crew chief or spotter says, hey, take a deep breath. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Carla?
Yeah, guys, here with Chris Wright, responsible for the incident coming into pit road. What happened there?
Yeah, just super bad miscommunication with spotter and just the way things stacked up. You know, I really feel bad for all the guys out on track, First National Bank guys, our guys. Put a lot of hard work in. I really feel bad for the 9-1 there. It won't happen again. Just miscommunication there.
So did you lose brakes or no?
We had a braking issue on pit road the stop before, and we were planning on just getting the brakes a little bit sooner, getting out of turn 4, come to pit road, and was unfortunate with the way it happened.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, the spotter miscommunication, if maybe they called him in too late, but yeah, definitely way too late in the braking zone.
Last I checked, the spotter doesn't hit the brake, the throttle, or the steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's the driver at the wheel. So I'm not quite sure how the spotter played a role in that, but at the end of the day, they came in with way too much speed towards pit road.
Yep. Doing the choose. Going to have 25 laps to go when we return to the green flag. You know, there's some irony here. We heard from Austin Hill, who's out, wins both stages, leads 56 laps. And look who's up there inside the top 5, third prior to the choose. Going to restart on the front row, and that's Jesse Love in the 2. They've been quiet. Started 9th today after qualifying was rained out, but here they are at the end of the race trying to put together the back end after his teammate was so good in the early portion.
Yeah, and if I look right behind Jesse Love, and you look at the 25 of Harrison Burton, the gray car, that's another Haas factory team. They're getting cars from them, so there's not many Fords in the field. Late in this race, though, all 3 of those guys have positioned themselves in the right position. And don't forget, the last time the Cup Series raced here, the guy in the 25 car, Harrison Burton, he won the Cup race.
Here are Xfinity fastest laps so far. Jeremy Clements in the 51, who won here summertime 2022. And we will give out a point at the end of this race for the driver that records the Xfinity fastest lap. New rule in NASCAR in 2025. The eyes of Garrett Smithley. Front row for the restart. 25 remain at Daytona. Outside lane, Sheldon Creed. Inside of him, Jesse Love. Row 2, a couple of Fords. Inside, Harrison Burton. Outside will be Sam Mayer. Green flag one more time.
That inside row timed the restart out almost perfect, almost too good. He looked like he was actually in front of Sheldon Creed as they got to the start finish line. And you see this every restart, Parker, and we talk about trying to get control of the race. They get aggressive this first few corners because you're just trying to get out in front of those two cars on the outside, or if you're the leader, just in front of them, so that you can then move up in front and get a little bit of control. You see Jesse Love right there leading that inside lane. Ryan Sieg in the 39 giving Harrison Burton a huge push. Jesse Love's going to get control right here. Is he going to decide to stay on the bottom? He's going to move back up. You want to try to manipulate both lanes, but it's hard. Those lanes, they generate such a run behind you. You see top lane is obviously preferred by all these drivers. It's unbelievable how many guys are in the bottom, get the lead and go right to the top.
You mentioned the 3 Fords up there, but you forgot about the 4th and Ryan Sieg, who's right there as well. Right. He gets help from Haas Factory team as well in that 39, so they're all up there, and that's just Jesse Love against him right now. One RCR car that was dominant is gone, and we replaced it with the other now at the front of the field.
I want to say the other Ryan has been very positive.
Big attaboy.
You know, Ryan Ellis never had a top 10 in his Xfinity career, but here he is in the game late at Daytona in that 71. New team this year for him, going over to drive for DGM, but he is delivering. He's been hanging around all day long.
Yeah, look at this car, Parker. I'm going to scratch on it. He's done a really good job managing his race. He's now in a great position at the end of this. And when you watch these races, the inside lane is typically not where you want to be, but it's a little bit safer because when there's a wreck, you have a bailout zone. When they have a wreck and everybody goes to the top, if you're in the outside, you almost always get collected.
Sometimes in super speedway racing, the best move is no move. And that can mean get on the bottom and ride around and let the race come to you. Don't avoid the wrecks. Don't make any aggressive moves. And often we'll see you pay off in the end. You know who was the best at that was Justin Haley. He won races by literally making no moves whatsoever. There's two different styles. The Austin Hill be aggressive. The Justin Haley sit on the bottom and let it happen in front of you. And I think that's what Ryan Ellis has done a great job of.
Another driver in the top 10 making some noise late. The rookie contender Christian Eckes. He had some damage driving the 16 for Colleague. First career start, 8 truck wins the last 2 years. And on the pit box for that 16, Alex Yantz, who's won here twice at Daytona, the crew chiefing for Justin Haley, and he was also a co-crew chief with Chris Rice when Colleague got their first ever win here, courtesy of Ross Chastain.
What a recovery. They thought their day was done not long ago. They were in 34th. You could hear the radio like it's going to be okay. It's a long season. And here they have. They've persevered in the top 10, in a good position right here. What I'm watching right now, though, Parker, it's the same thing that happened at the end of stage 1, at the end of stage 2. As this starts to close down, that top line just becomes dominant. Everybody wants to get in line. The only saving grace, and you see it right there with Harrison Burton on the inside in the 25 car, when you get to the corner, it's so much shorter around. You make up a little bit of ground, and he's got to hope that these guys all on the bottom will stay committed to him, because as that line loses cars, it just gets slower and slower and slower.
And one thing to pay attention to on that 25, you see on the right, behind the right front tire, he had some damage from that early wreck in the race, lap 6. Now, they've been able to patch it up a little bit. I don't know if it's hurting them too much, but Ryan Sieg, who's behind him, will start to get the notification probably earliest if that is hurting them. If he notices he's not able to push the 25 out front, if he's not able to create the generate the runs that he's been able earlier, that means that damage is hurting them because of the 25.
And Ryan Sieg has been one of the best pushers all day long. Yep. Hasn't gotten cars out of control and has been able to push a lot of guys to the lead. As you see, they're getting another big run right here on Jesse Love.
21 laps to go. Kim?
Yeah, let's get a Toyota driver update. Let's focus our spotlight on Taylor Gray, currently running in the 7th position. He is one of our rookies this season, but had a number of starts last year. And so I asked him what he learned that he can take into this season. And he said, you know, last year was great to get that experience, but we had some really bad luck. I'm hoping to turn that luck around, get solid finishes. His goal for today was to learn as much as possible. And he said survive till the end to hopefully put himself in position for a top 5 finish and maybe even a win. Right now, though, the biggest complaint is he gets tight before he gets snapping free on that machine.
Kim, when you come to Daytona, you talk about the balance of patience and aggression. The aggression's getting ready to be turned up. 20 to go at the World Center of Racing.
get your motor running.
B12.
Bingo! Don't worry, girls. I've got WeatherTech.
For whatever comes your way, there's WeatherTech.
Say the word and I'll lift you up.
Move my next meeting to tomorrow at noon and text it to Jeff.
Head & Shoulders is launching something huge. The bare minimum. Anti-dandruff shampoo made with only 9 ingredients, no sulfate, silicones, or dyes, and packaged with 45% less plastic, giving you outstanding dandruff protection and leaving hair beautiful and moisturized. Major dandruff protection, minimal ingredients. Job done. Head & Shoulders Bare.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Now Taxes is having a TurboTax expert who does your taxes from start to finish. While you check in anytime. And get the most money back on your time. Now this is Taxes.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But at least you can go to safelight.com and schedule a fix in minutes. Go to safelight.com and schedule a replacement today.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
You know what's crazy?
That you can get a buffet to go?
That Tony is getting a salad. And Lou should not do stand-up.
But that's like a third roll.
I'm on a roll.
That you can start with dessert. Or how about soup?
Wait and pay, baby.
You'll be back. Emus can't help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Doug.
Well, I'll be. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Big.
Small. Essential.
Big. Small. Essential.
Big. Small.
Essential.
Grande.
Pequeño.
Esencial.
No matter what business you're in, Verizon Business has the network and solutions you need to power it.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, the best seat in the house since 1925. Happy 100 to the Goodyear blend. With Parker Kligerman, Jamie McMurray, I'm Adam Alexander. We've hit 15 laps to go in the season opening race at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series on CW. And it's getting good. Second-year driver Jesse Love out front. And look at all those Junior Motorsports Chevrolets down in that inside lane.
But they've got an issue, and it's that 88 of Connor Zilic, a rookie to this form of racing, but he's got damage on the front end, so if they want to get maybe a better momentum, I just think that might be hurting them a little bit. They'd be able to make a run towards a two-car of Jesse Love, who's controlling this field in great fashion, similar to Austin Hill. He's moving lanes. He's not getting too far out front. He's controlling that distance to the cars behind him, and it's going to take real momentum to get beside him.
Yeah, and Parker, the intensity is picking up, and I told you as we went to green, I'm like, take a deep breath, right? I always wanted to know 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go, I'm like, I want you to count me down because you're so focused inside the car of the decisions that you want to make. I'm like, I don't want to worry about laps. I want you to tell me every time I cross the start-finish line how many laps to go so I can reset and get my mind where it needs to be on the decisions I need to make.
That's better than me last night, who didn't know it was the last lap when it was the last lap, by the way.
Better to be lucky than good, my friend.
I was very lucky in that respect.
Oh, and as you watch this shot and you see the cars bouncing sideways, that is from someone behind them hitting them. And we talked about earlier when we saw cars get wrecked on the entry. Nick Sanchez got wrecked on the entry to turn 3. It's because the cars are so light on entry. If you get hit, it's hard to catch the car. Oh, you see Sheldon Creed right there jump to the outside. Jesse Love made that decision in the car. The spotter has a hard time saying that quick enough. When you see that quick reaction from the 2 car, and Jesse told me earlier when we were in the garage, they changed the steering box in that car and made it a little quicker. And he's like, I can't really feel it on the track, but it's when I change lanes. I want to be able to be more aggressive when I make my moves.
And that's what allows you to make those moves, is being aggressive with the wheel and having those quick reactions and quick reflexes. One thing I saw him down the backstretch he's got to get rid of is being non-committal to lanes. If you start to sort of fade your lane and not commit to the outside, not commit to the bottom one, you will end up getting beat doing that. They will find a way to juke you and get to the outside or the inside of you. You've got to commit to the lanes and be very decisive with your decisions.
Yeah, and I know that we talked earlier about the spotters telling you who's behind you. Behind Jesse Love right now is 2 teammates. So if you see a move, you got to know the guy behind. Sam Mayer's probably going to go with Sheldon Creed right here if there's a move made. The best thing for Jesse Love right now, though, is that they're too wide. And there's not really anywhere for Sheldon Creed to go because of the side drafting that we have going on. The too wide actually benefits those guys on the front row.
I am so impressed with Connor Zilic.
Oh,
I mean,
so good.
Involved in the crash, gets damage at lap 5. And here he is late in the race, looking to find his way to victory lane.
What makes a great driver is when they find their way to the front at the right time. Connor Zilic does that week in and week out. As you see Justin Allgaier, his teammate, getting stuck in the middle, is going to have to go to the back and try to get in line right here.
That was a miscommunication with Carson Quapple there, who ended up beside him and didn't want to be, I don't believe. Justin was trying to sort of move the lane up to side draft. Carson filled the gap on the bottom, and Jeb forced Carson into that position. I don't think he wanted to do that. They wanted to keep the JRM train.
Parker, let's watch Jesse Love's eyes right here. You see, looking out the left side mirror, trying to manage the left side lane. He's going to look up through the middle of the corner to see, is there any kind of...
On half of the top, top's going to have it on exit.
He's trying to tell them where the run's going to come from. And I always use a spotter as verification of what I see.
Stall him a little bit. 1 to the bottom, 3/4 to the top. 3/4 top with us. Not clear yet, now he is. Up there is clear, 41 of them not. Yep, doing good. Half square.
Oh, you hear the burp of the throttle, so that's trying to control that distance. You don't want to allow too much distance where they can generate a run on you. You want to control that by keeping your car close to Sheldon Creed and keep them in that bubble they can't break through, so it pushes you out forward.
And as we see that outside lane start to break free, watch Sheldon Creed right here. He saw this in the first 2 stages. He's going to back up a little bit to his teammate, Sam Mayer, and try to generate the run that he needs to clear Jesse Love. He got by Jesse Love earlier, and Love had enough car to get by him quickly.
Jamie, you said you wanted to know when we hit 10 laps to go?
We're there.
10 remaining.
Adam would be a good crew chief for you.
He would be. Adam's a great crew chief. I like what Jesse Love is doing right there. He's not running the top and not running the bottom. Kind of running the middle. It makes it easier to be able to block those guys, but Creed gets to his inside. Is Mayer going to go with him, though?
He's going to need him, and we got Brendan Poole here who's going to force them up a little bit. Sam's got to go with him. He has.
Yeah, that's a good teammate to commit to it, because I think it might cost both of these guys for a little bit at least until that bottom row can catch up.
It was a little overzealous. I think it should be fine. It should pay off for them to be able to get to a point where they feel like they might be able to generate more momentum, not just behind the 2 of Jesse Love on the top.
I always wanted to generate that run on the entry to the corner so I could try to clear them driving a shorter distance around the corner. Creed chose to do it on the exit of the corner.
Toyota's looking good in that outside lane. Taylor Gray, the rookie, right behind him. Another rookie, William Sawalich. And a driver has one start in his career, Justin Bonsignor, the outstanding driver in the modified ranks.
Yeah, all 3 Gibbs cars up front right now.
Bonsignor's done a great job. Such little experience in this form of racing. Has kept it up there in the top 10. Oh, right now having major
Eckes cutting a break right there. Cutting a little bit of a break.
He had another one on the backstretch like that, but he's held on to it and he's kept it up there.
Watch Justin Allgaier in the 7 car in the middle of the pack. He turns Justin.
That's Justin Bonsignor. Out of shape, and we're under caution again.
Oh, Anthony Alfredo in it.
Made made it to 8 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting aggressive. I was just going to point out that you could see Justin making that middle work, getting underneath guys through the middle of the corner. It looked like Justin maybe tried to come down, try to make that block a little bit late. We'll have to go back and see exactly how that played out. It all happens so fast inside the car.
And Alfredo had the whole left rear tire carcass ripped off the wheel.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I haven't seen that in a while. That was a shame. When we were just singing his praises, how well he had done in this whole race. But this was just, you talk about the intensity going up. You see it with the cars wiggling around and moving. As we look at the 16 there, the white car, the yellow numbers, he's going to juke to the outside. He's going to try to go to the inside. And this is the worst position to hit someone left rear. That just super unsettles them. And then Justin Allgaier's going through the middle here. And that's when it just
pulled down. You have to be more aggressive, and that's just lack of experience. We saw Jesse Love looking out of that left side mirror. You got to kind of be able to judge that, and Justin missed the judge it. I don't think that Allgaier did anything wrong right there.
Eckes got through. Alfredo was so close, barely gets clipped.
And you know what's tough here? So what happened is, if you look where William Swalich went, Justin Bonsignor was trying to follow the 18, who was fading down to be closer to the inside cars. He just didn't know the 7 was getting to his inside like that. He was trying to just follow his teammate, essentially, and that's sort of disorienting. It happens in these drafting races where you're running around at the top next to the wall. Then the line starts to move down as the intensity picks up. You start side drafting more, and therefore you're trying to follow the car in front of you as a reference, but sometimes they're doing something different than you should be doing because you've got someone to your inside suddenly making it 3 wide, and that's just a disagreement in real estate that ends up in the 19 turns.
Look at that. Look at those sparks coming off the 19 car.
Oof. The hard hit for Sammy Smith.
Yeah.
And Alfredo.
Big hit on top there. Justin Allgaier, you see him. Look at that, just spraying off the nose of that car. He made it through. I don't think he has any damage. And I would just say that when you watch this, what's hard to explain is that when you're in Allgaier's position, it's almost like you're glued to Justin. Like you get out of the gas and you're trying to get away from him, but you can't.
And it almost happens in slow motion at times. And you see it, and you're like, no, and then this ends up. And, Justin Allgaier was making a move that he felt was going to get him back in position, using the middle, which works often, especially when the intensity picks up. And it's just having someone who doesn't know you're there trying to turn down at the same time.
You know who's in position to have a great day as you see the drivers that were involved in this crash? That's Jeb Burton. I mean, he might win the thing, but he's inside the top 10 after he scored stage points in both stage 1 and stage 2. And I referenced this earlier. Jeb is a driver that last year, if there was a problem, he was in the middle of it. I mean, just wrong place, wrong time on so many occasions.
Yep.
Today, kind of been other end of the spectrum. You felt like the sport owed him one.
Is this where I tell everyone that in the pre-race, he was one of my challenger picks to pay attention to?
Bragging gets you nowhere with us.
It's not too early. I mean, earlier I felt like you were a little overstated.
Yeah,
now it's okay.
Right position.
We're going to get a restart inside of 5 laps to go. Jesse Love, the man in charge at Daytona. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Celsius, live fit. Checkered flag not too far away. Here at Daytona International Speedway, it's race 1 of 2025 for NASCAR's Xfinity Series. Season opener has been here every year dating back to 1982. This place never disappoints. Several drivers in the top 10 that have never won. And there's Danny Stockman calling the shots for Jesse Love. Quiet in stage 1 and stage 2. But the money's on the line. Two's made his way to the front and so far has done an outstanding job of controlling this race.
And he told us earlier today that he had worked on his super speedway racing and felt like maybe he was making too many moves in the past. And that's what you saw in the first 2 stages. He didn't make many moves. He wasn't trying too many things. But as we've gotten later here, he's gotten control of the race. He's making the right moves to control the lines. The only thing I'd critique from him is that it's just a little indecisive at times when we've seen down the backstretch where he's not quite sure he wants to go to the top lane, not quite sure he's going to the bottom lane, and fading a little bit. And that can put you in a tricky position when you get late in this race and the runs get bigger.
I want you guys to analyze the choose here because this is going to be significant. We do the choose with 4 to go. That means we'll take the green flag with 3 to go. You got to have the right partner in the draft. Love goes high. The 2-4 teammates go low.
Yeah, and I asked Jesse in the garage earlier, I'm like, look, you're leading at the end. What lane do you want to be in? And he said it's going to depend on who the pusher is, but I want to be in the outside. And we've seen that be the dominant lane all day long, Parker.
It usually is in the Xfinity car. For whatever reason, you see the groove gravitate up towards the wall. It's just the aero of these cars and the way they handle. But as we get late here, it's really about your pushers, as you said. It's just about who gets the better runs, creates momentum, and stays connected as long as you possibly can with honestly not locking bumpers.
Right. Kim?
We're talking about Jesse Love at the point, but it's been a lot of hard work. Take a listen to the radio.
When you tell me half to the bottom, 1 to the top, half to the bottom, 3/4 to the top, and let me know where the runs are coming, that is super helpful so I can pick which lane to pick up an air bubble push with. I'm queuing off that grade. That's how I know which lane to go pick, you know? Killing it. We'll keep this up.
So that was Jesse giving props to his spotter, Ben Benesh. But what you didn't hear, Brandon Benesh, but what you didn't hear there, he said, that gave me gray hairs. Daytona will give a 20-year-old gray hairs. Dating Stockman, you see on the left there, telling him stay focused, stay on your toes. Quick movements are going to be the key here in the last few laps.
Great information from his spotter, learning, working together. And I know that I told you earlier, take a deep breath. Every one of these races I watch, when it gets down to this point, my heartbeat is higher than Matt DiBenedetto's right now. Very high. Excited. I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. And if you're Jesse Love, you're like, have I chose the right line? Is that the right pusher behind me? Yep. If you're Sheldon Creed, you're like, I want to be on the front row. Because this might go side by side the rest of the race. And it could be just who gets the run off of turn 4.
This is my favorite time in super speedway racing. The red zone, as I call it, when you're one of those front 4 cars, it's so intense.
Going to be 3 to go in regulation. Front row, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed. Creed used to drive that 2 car for RCR. He's now driving a Ford for Haas Factory Team.
It looked like that outside lane, like Connor Zilic, the 3rd car in line at the top, was able to get on Taylor Gray. Oh. Taylor's now on Jesse Love. You see they go down to the bottom to block. They're going to get checked out a little bit. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for them as they get down to turn 3.
You don't want to be too far, but if they can control that runs from behind them, they'll be fine. As Sheldon
Creed's not going to be patient.
He tries to go with Connor. Sam Merritt leaves.
Look at the bottom lane. I think Creed wants to be in that position. He has done such a good job as we watch them exit turn 2 of like lagging back just a little bit and then generating the run. He had practice in stage 1 of how to do that.
Well, you want to make sure you're leading when the white flag comes out, because once the white flag comes out, the next flag ends the race. You want to be in control. 2 laps to go.
And this is so typical of Sheldon Creed. He does generate those runs so well. And you saw that earlier. He made that attempt at passing through the middle of the corner, which doesn't always happen, but he does that by pulling that line back and generating that run towards the entry of the corner. We'll see if he's trying to do that up top.
Jesse's doing a tremendous job, though, of manipulating both these lanes. You see the outside line is kind of broken up. The 54 is going to have a run on Jesse Love getting down into turn 3.
Connor Zilic into the wall. Caution is out. A half a lap from the white flag, and we'll go to overtime.
Eckes is in that.
4 is Parker Retzloff. William Sawalich in the 18. Referenced Eckes. There he is in the 16. 3 rookies receiving big damage. You look at the 88 of Connor Zilic and Ryan Ellis in the 71, looking for that first career top 10.
Yeah, we talked about all these guys. Williams, Walich, staying clean all day long. Just really quiet day, running well. These tight places, though, it's so easy to get caught up in someone else's wreck. Looked like who was ever behind Connor It's just being aggressive at the end of a speedway race.
It's not.
You're not getting mad at this point.
You have to do it.
Yeah, push me because I want to win.
You want to. Yeah. And the position he was in, third row, that pack, it's just like that's where you're going to generate the momentum. You're going to generate the run. But the risk of that is sort of what happens here. You get turned. But that's just, if you want those big pushes, if you want that big momentum, it's going to take taking those risks.
7 cautions today, but 4 with a crash. And all of these crashes were started by drivers that were running inside the top 7.
Yeah, you see Justin Allgaier's right there behind him. Looks like he squared up on him pretty good. I think that the 88 had to check up. He did for Sheldon Creed in the outside. And again, you don't know that when you're the 7. You're dependent on your spotter to manage all that. But there's just, there's words can't come out quick enough to talk about that, you know, the checkup in front of you. And Creed's trying to manage which lane to block right here.
And, you know, one of the things that Connor might have done differently is if he was lined up better with Creed, not so far to the left, you just run in the back of him. But the problem he had is he was lined up to the left so far that if he hits Creed with the speed and momentum he had, he's spinning him out. Yeah. So that was him trying to basically check up that line, but the 7 was pushing him so hard, you just can't do that.
Yeah, it's the end of these races, and you don't get mad because you want to get pushed. You know, Sheldon Creed wanted to get shoved back out front, and it's just when you're 2 or 3 back, you come out on the wrong end of it.
35, Greg Van Alst won an ARCA race here a couple of years ago. Incredible the impact.
Yeah, and I think that shows what I said earlier. The inside is typically a safer place. A lot of those guys stuck by right there on the inside. It looked like he started to get slowed down because he saw it, and who was ever behind him didn't. You saw him get hit from behind, and once you get spun around, you're just along for the ride.
I don't know how many times I've heard those noises and also seen them from TV, but they never
still hurt.
Yeah, never makes me not cringe. Every single time, the screeching, the crunching of metal, the slams. I just know what it feels like. I know how helpless you feel at times. You've been spun around. You're just like, don't hit something, don't hit something. Oh, it's such a helpless feeling.
88 car going to the garage. The day is done for Connor Zilic. Here's some of their radio.
The 00 made a half block. It's always Sheldon Creed and something like that. You just can't race around them.
Well, emotions are high, right? I mean, like you're frustrated. They had a chance to win this race, and yeah, I don't blame them a bit.
I don't care if you're the cleanest driver there is. When you've somewhat been the cause of someone else's wreck, you will be termed the worst driver that's ever been on the racetrack. That's just a normal reaction sometimes. I've said it about others. I've had it said about me. And obviously, you know, they're upset about what happened there. They were in a great position, but I really didn't think Sheldon did anything particularly wrong, especially in this form of racing. And if they were lined up, just like I said, any differently, if Sheldon was a little lower or the 88 was a little higher, they could have just used that momentum to propel the 00 forward.
Free racing from Daytona. We're going to overtime. Can Jesse Love hang on and get his 2nd career victory? Ready for a big finish at Daytona International Speedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I got a little trivia for the 2 of you.
Uh-oh, I love trivia.
How many cars not involved in an accident today? Not involved.
Not involved.
Don't look at the screen.
No, I'm just guessing. I'm guessing.
No, you were looking for a lifeline.
8.
I'm going to say 7.
Go 8?
7.
10.
Oh, wow.
Oh! I was right.
Let's check back in 5 minutes, okay?
I was closest.
Hey, and we talk about this elite rookie class. 6 of our 8 rookies have been involved in an accident today. And quite honestly,
surprise me.
I thought it would have been 8 for 8, and one who is quietly impressed, and that would be the 26 of Dean Thompson, scoring stage points in both stages, and he'll restart just outside the top 10 here, pending the choose.
Adam, I appreciate you having fun, but I'm serious. I want to know about this choose. We're getting ready to win a race.
All right.
Okay?
It's going to be important.
Yeah.
We'll watch the choose as we get a report from Kim.
Yeah, Danny Stockman calls the shots for Jesse Love, who's at the point. Jesse telling you on the radio this was giving him gray hair. She said, breathe. What do you want to see from your driver in this overtime restart?
I'd like to see what he's been doing the last 20 or 30 laps. He's done a great job controlling the race, top to bottom, and the car's obviously got a lot of speed to be able to do that. So it's stressful. It'd sure be nice to leave here with that trophy. It sure makes for a nice summer.
Who's more stressed, you or Jesse at this point?
Probably Jesse. I've been doing this a long time, and I've never won a February Daytona race, so this would be pretty awesome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
If you go back almost 15 years, Danny Stockman was on the pit box with Austin Dillon. He won Rookie of the Year. The next year, he was the Xfinity Series champion. Yep. And you look at what Love and Stockman were able to do together last year, and say all signs point toward him really being a player for the title this year. And this is his only career win. Came in the draft at Talladega last spring.
And he won this in a similar fashion. There was a lot of wrecks late, cars, not as many cars on the racetrack as he had at the start of the race, and he just controlled the front of the field and got it done. And it's, the confidence you want in a rookie. He wasn't able to find victory lane again last year, but he was really close, and I just think there's a lot of confidence there. And Danny Stockman, man, I raced against him during that era in the Xfinity Series, and I raced against him last year, and he is just such a great leader, so smart at this game. He builds such fast race cars, and he puts so much empowerment behind Jesse Love to go out there and do what he needs to do.
Sam Mayer, third prior to the choose. What are they thinking in the 41 camp?
I think as a team, that would be the best move, right? To try and win and beat the 2, but it's hard now because the 27 was a good pusher, and he would be behind the 54 if we both stack the top. So I don't think either way is wrong.
Just so many decisions, and Sam's running third. They're talking about Jeb that's in fifth. That's a lot of predicting of what people are going to do. I think that Jesse Love's in a good position, Parker, because Tanner should take the inside to take the front row, and that's going to put Mayer. Oh, he takes the top. That's
I was going to say, I thought he would go with him. Why not?
I would take the front row.
You got to battle the two.
I would take the front row because once we get to the white, this race is over, and my odds are significantly better.
So here's why I would refute that point. If I'm Taylor Gray, I want to control my destiny. I want to push the 2 car and put myself in position to make the move to be able to get to the front.
Now he's put 2 teammates on the bottom,
which is fine, right? But I feel like if I'm in his position, I don't want to hope there's a good pusher behind me that ends up on the bottom lane with me. I'm going to be the pusher, and I'm going to push the 2.
Here's the move I love, though. Just outside looking in.
That works.
Not being a driver. If you're Taylor Gray, you push him all the way out front, right? And now he's a little bit on an island, and then you can make your move.
His best friend will be Jeb Burton, the 27 for Taylor Gray. That's who he's hoping. Exactly as you described it is what he wants to happen. And why I feel like you control your own destiny there is because you can do exactly what you said. You push the 2 out, you create the gap, push them too far, then utilize the cars that are behind you like a Jeb Burton, and be able to generate that run to blast past them, hopefully win the race.
The last restart, Connor Zilic was behind Taylor Gray. He is who got Taylor to the back of Jesse Love. Jesse doesn't know that, though, right? We saw this on TV. I think you're going to see Sheldon Creed, who's one of the best pushers in the series, get on Sam Mayer. I think they'll clear the bottom. I think they're going to stay locked together. They're going to be able to clear the bottom.
Sheldon's going to have to be really unselfish here.
He is.
Because he's going to have to want to push him
until they get to turn 3.
He wants that win so bad.
Another thought here. Everybody good on fuel as we go to overtime. I mean, that's something everybody's concerned about.
Adam, do not bring that up right now. Come on.
Hey, Jesse Love thinks about Atlanta last year. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good point.
Well, you see, actually, to your point, Jesse, he's just weaving off the banking. That's just filling that fuel to the right side.
All right, we're about to find out.
Got word they are talking about a fuel situation in the 2 camp. Jesse Love has led 28 laps today, and he's in charge of the field as we go to overtime.
He got down in front of him. Wow. Barely got down in front of him. That was aggressive. As you know, Sam Mayer didn't check up. He has Creed pushing him, barely able to get down in front of him right there.
He did not want to let that happen at all.
Yeah, great job. You see Jeb Burton on the outside trying to get locked together with Taylor Gray. They just get pushed away. You see the 54 drive away from the 27.
It's going to be easy for Jesse to control these 2 lanes right now because they don't have much momentum. Ryan Sieg up there 3 wide on Justin Allgaier. That's going to hurt that top lane again to be able to generate any momentum and then allow that bottom lane to really surge here. Sheldon Creed moves to the top behind Taylor Gray.
Yeah, Sheldon Creed, great pusher. You see them wiggling right there. Taylor Gray trying to hang on to it.
Oh, the red crash. And it happened right as Jesse Love was looking at the white flag. The question becomes, did the caution come out before Jesse Love got the white?
And of course,
gosh, look at all those cars.
With the flag, it's about pushing the button.
Wow.
We just got word that Jesse Love did get the white. Once the leader takes the white, the next flag ends the race. The caution is displayed with Jesse Love leading.
All right, just get it back.
He is just patiently
He's saving fuel right now.
waiting on them to give him the word.
Yeah, baby, I think you got it.
Confirmation on the radio. There it is. Jesse Love is going to win the season opener at Daytona. That's win number 10 for Richard Childress Racing in the Xfinity Series at the World Center of Racing.
Well, he did an incredible job on that restart to slide. I mean, that was incredible that he was able to get down in front of Sam Mayer, clear him. Great job.
Oh. I was going to say, you still have to get the checker.
Yeah, they didn't realize that.
They thought it was over.
There it is. The yellow and the checker.
Steve, all you guys, hell of a job, boys.
That's such an iconic voice to come on the
Great
radio.
job.
Second career win.
That's awesome. Win Daytona. It's nothing quite like it. It's so big. No matter how you get it done, you can say he had a fast car, but when he got the chance to be up front, he just controlled this thing and took hold of it.
Absolutely he did. And if you look at just RCR racing in general today, the amount of laps both those drivers led the most laps of anybody. Austin Hill at 56, Jesse Love at 30. Ugh. That's not the way you want to walk away from here.
It was a
Ryan
tough last
Sieg.
laps.
Good to see all these drivers climbing from their cars.
Sheldon Creed actually had to get off of Taylor Gray right there. Ugh.
So Justin Allgaier tried to get down to the middle. There was a lot of sort of slam drafting, as I like to call it, where you're just taking huge runs and running in the back of the car in front of you, which causes a lot of moving around. And Justin tried to get down into 32 there if Jordan Anderson was there.
Yeah.
I just don't think he knew it. He turns down, it cuts down the racetrack, and then that right rears Josh Williams in front of the field. And Jeb Burton, unfortunately, who had a great run going. Ryan Sieg involved. And obviously all the cars that are now just...
It's very similar to the same thing that happened with Allgaier and Bonsignor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's 2 inches and you think you're clear or you don't know they're there.
And it's going to be tight. This
Yeah, they checked up right there in front of Allgaier, and that's why he went to the bottom. He lost a little bit of his momentum.
And he was maybe an inch clear 100 feet earlier. And then by the time he wanted to make that move, it wasn't there anymore. What do they think about you hurting the grass before the Daytona 500? I was very careful about it. I will say. Yes, I don't
think Jesse Love cares what they think about the
that's
grass.
true.
Good for him. Burn it down. Should win. I mean, he got to win at Daytona.
Amen. It's awesome.
There's really no feeling like after this burnout, taking your helmet off, getting out, standing on the door, getting on the roof, and looking up at this enormous grandstands, the fans. It's one of the greatest feelings in life.
They're so excited.
Come on out, roof hand.
Oh, hang on. Oh. That's great.
We talked to Danny Stockman, the crew chief, earlier today. He said, I'm telling you, he switched on. And he turned it up big time late in this race. Leading 30 laps and winning in the season opener. What a celebration. What a night ahead. Here's Dylan.
And Jesse Love, the celebration down here. There is so much debris down here from not only the crash, but just the tire debris that he left here on the start-finish line. He's going to run up here and get a well-deserved checkered flag. Second career win in the Xfinity Series and first here at Daytona. And a hug with crew chief Danny Stockman. Jesse, let's talk about this. That restart move, when you got down in front of the 41, did you realize how close that was, and why did you feel like that was the right move to make at that time?
I just listened to the guy up there, Brandon Benesh. I am so out of breath. Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. Man, just so thankful to the good Lord above for putting me in this position. So many people have helped me get to this point. Billy Venturini, Shane Rush, the people that taught me how to race here at Daytona. Thank you guys. And our ECR, Richard Childress Racing, everybody back at welcome. Bummer what happened to 21. I'm not sure what happened, but he was really dominant tonight. And, you know, we're working on changing our culture here at RCR. We're winners. We know we are. We all want to win a championship for Richard Childress. So, man, that thing was as fast as Xfinity Mobile. And I'm ready to go get to Atlanta, I think, now. So it was awesome.
You obviously saw how good your teammate was. When he went out, did that give you even that much more confidence that you had the same quality of race car and the ability to do what he did at the front?
I couldn't see him, you know. He was so far forward. And, man, once I got up front, I think Danny wanted to take sixth there behind the Haas cars, but I had to see what this baby had out front. We didn't get to qualify, and it takes me a little bit to get up front sometimes. I'm trying to play chess nowadays and not checkers at Daytona. So, man, I'm lost for words. It's Daytona. I always cry here when I do the national anthem. I'm starstruck. I love Florida. Thank everybody for coming out tonight. This place is super special to me. And you guys are as good as Talladega fans now.
Danny, one more thing, Jesse. Danny said that he thought you were more nervous than he was under that yellow. Were you nervous?
Josh Wise changed my life the other week, helping me compartmentalize my mind. And no, it's easy to, because the green light checkers suck. And I take a lot of what Josh Wise says to heart, and I just kind of tapped into a mindset of no fear, no emotion, and no, I guess, anxiety, right? Just straight will to succeed and will to win. And thank you to everybody at Wise Optimization, Scott Speed, Josh, Shane Stratton. And, man, just excited to go celebrate my guys. My pit crew did a phenomenal job today. And these J-Board Chevrolet's really good. We finally got a win for the Wheeling car. That makes it even more special.
Go celebrate. Congratulations. Jesse Love, a winner at Daytona.
He's a USAC champ. He's an ARCA champ. He's a winner at Daytona for the second consecutive year. He's going to the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. And a message delivered today to the competition by Jesse Love. I'm here to play. Two-car, outstanding this afternoon, and he should be good all season long. It's all over for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona. Have a day, Jesse Love, the second-year driver from California, delivers big time in the two-car. Wild Cards comes your way next on the CW. Now more post-race reaction from this first race of the campaign down to Kim.
Yeah, Sam Mayer comes up one spot short from the win here at Daytona. Jesse Love with a bold move on that restart. As you look at the restart, would you have done anything differently in hindsight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to go back at it and look and see what I can do better, because I'm definitely learning as we go. But huge props to this team. This Autobell Ford Mustang was really, really fast today. So I'm super proud to be up at the front with these guys. especially with a new team like this. They worked really hard this offseason to make cars as fast as Xfinity Mobile, but so far so good. The Rockingham test was really good. This was really good. So there's lots of positivity going around. Huge shout out to the guys at Haas Factory that build these race cars.
Daytona has not been your friend in the past. In fact, super speedways have not been your friend. First top 5 finish here at Daytona. What clicked today?
First top 5 finish, yikes. Yeah, we kind of just did everything that we wanted to. The car was capable of it, and Tyler Green up on the roof, he's new to me, so we worked really well together today. So I'm super pumped to see what we can do the rest of the year. Obviously, going into Atlanta next week is it's another fun one for us, so we'll get to see how it goes, but there's just a lot of positivity going on right now.
A solid finish for Sam Mayer and this team as he starts the season with Haas Factory. Carla. Yeah, here with Connor Zilic at the medical center. Pretty hard hit for you to end this race, but you were able to keep your car on the track in this one. And despite the early damage on, what did you learn about your team in this one?
Yeah, I learned a ton. I'm glad we were able to get going after the damage. You know, our WeatherTech Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and that's why it hurts even more to be standing here right now. But glad I was able to run a lot of laps. Unfortunate, you know, what happened there at the end, just kind of late blocks and getting pushed, and you know, not a lot I really think I could have done there. Just unfortunate. Wow, I was high, but glad I'm okay after that one. You know, thank you to the entire Junior Motorsports team for building safe race cars, and excited to go to Atlanta next weekend and get another shot at it.
Yeah, and your good buddy Jesse Love taking the checker tonight. You're pretty excited to see that.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy for him. You know, we're best friends, and as much as we may joke on Twitter or whatever it may be, you know, I love him like a brother, and really happy for him.
All right, thanks, Connor. Dylan?
Sheldon Creed comes home in the 3rd spot as we're trying to get run over by their car here. When you look back on that, maybe things you could have done differently, is there anything that jumps out at you?
Yeah, I don't know. Getting control of the race, obviously. I mean, I tried to go by the 2 there with, I don't know, 15, 20 to go, and got by him once, and then got next to him another time, and just didn't quite have the help out back that I needed. But the RCR car was just really fast, and he could rebound really quickly, like as I'd go by him. He could rebound and go right back by me, where it took me a couple laps to kind of think it out. So overall, I know we talked before, I would just go try to be aggressive and keep myself up front, and I thought we did all that well. So just appreciative of everyone at Haas Factory team and friend of Jacqueline, and a really fast Ford Mustang Dark Horse tonight.
We go to another drafting track next week. It's different in Atlanta, but does what you learned in the approach that you took today, does that kind of mentality apply to next week too?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think everyone's kind of catching on. If you marry yourself too much to your manufacturer cars or teammates, you just get passed. So just trying to change the approach a little bit with our teammates and attack more. And yeah, I think handling will be a little more of an issue where it's really not here. And yeah, just happy with another good start to a season, and yeah, ready to get through Atlanta and get to real racetracks.
Good start for sure. 3rd for Sheldon Creed.
The operation looks a lot different for the Haas Group in 2025, but what a start. 2nd for Mayer, 3rd for Creed. The number 51 of Jeremy Clements wins the Xfinity fastest lap for this race, earning 1 point towards the championship standings. Great for the 51 team, and unofficially, Jeremy top 10. We'll confirm that, but my scoring monitor showing 9th, but all of that is unofficial.
Right, and I want to point out what Sheldon Creed pointed out there, which is that we're heading to another drafting track next week. I got good news and bad news for him. The good news, he was really competitive today. Both those HFT cars were. They were at the front all day. The bad news was the RCR, ECR-powered cars were a bit faster, and they will be just as fast next week in Atlanta.
Kim?
And Taylor Gray comes home with a top 5 finish here, but I want you to walk me through the lane choice on that final restart. You took the outside instead of the front row. What was the thought behind that?
Yeah, I feel like the restart lanes kind of had a lot of diversity in terms of which one worked and which one didn't. I felt like the top lane was the way to be at the time, just with the 2 up there. I felt like he was the best car. And honestly launched really well and gave him a good push. Just pushed him too far out there for him to be able to get clear of the bottom, and then kind of got myself in a little bit of a trap. And then I was able to pick up some good help behind me and surge forward there. But I can't thank all my Joe Gibbs Racing guys enough. They brought me a really fast Operation GR Supra. I'd say it's probably as fast as Xfinity Mobile. But yeah, just got to keep going, keep working, build momentum, and just a long year.
A great day, Dylan, for Taylor and this team.
And right inside the top 5 in front of Taylor Gray is Carson Quaffle. Your car was pretty wounded. The whole back needed to be replaced after that first crash. So how difficult was it to do what you needed to do with the car that was less than perfect?
It was definitely a little bit of a struggle there. I don't even know. Might have been lap 10 or 20 when we wrecked the first time, and definitely didn't do well for the aero or the handling. Was something in the back was pretty messed up all race long, and
that was the entire rear bumper cover that was not on.
Yeah, it was rough. That was the first wreck we got in. So, no, these guys on this, Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet, Clarence Chevrolet, really fixed it up about as best as they could. I could tell it wasn't the best, and it definitely wasn't driving as good as we had hoped. But we've just slowly and methodically just picked our way up to the front and avoided the crashes. I felt like we should have wrecked like 3 times. So just stayed there out the end, and by the end of the race, we were up basically running for the lead. And by that time, our stuff was about as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So we just had a really good car there at the end, and we put ourselves in a good spot, and just ended up on the good end there at the end.
Yeah, best finishing rookie today, Carson Quaffle, finishes 4th.
And there were 2 rookies inside the top 5. Let's look at the top 10 here real quick because they have now been made official. Jesse Love wins it. Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed behind him. Travis Quappel, as we talked to there, was 4th. 5th for Taylor Gray. You had Harrison Burton in the top 10. Great effort for that team to start the season. Jordan Anderson was 7th. He's always good at this place. Can't say enough about Dean Thompson, another rookie in the top 10. Clements officially 9th. Patrick Emmerling nets a top 10 today.
Yep, first one. And all those points by Dean Thompson, that's a big day for Sam Hunt Racing to come to a track like this where there is opportunity, but when you look at the breadth of the season, to have a 38-point day, that's huge. That can really propel them over the next couple of weeks.
Well, and as you looked at Sheldon Creed right there, biggest point day of anybody, 51 points, that's huge. I want to go back to Carson Quappel real quick, though. He was involved in multiple wrecks. Somehow they were able to repair that car at a top 4 finish. That's like a win.
I love his attitude.
Yeah,
he's a great kid.
And you start the season ahead of the curve instead of having to come from behind. Boy, it's been a fun day. We all had a good time. Welcome to the NASCAR Xfinity Series on the CW. This is how we do it. We'll see you next weekend, Friday afternoon on the CW app. We've got Xfinity Series qualifying from Atlanta Motor Speedway on the air with NASCAR Countdown Live Saturday, 4:30 Eastern. We're racing at 5 at the ATL. With Jamie McMurray, Parker Kligerman, I'm Adam Alexander. Thanks for watching. Congratulations, Jesse Love.